I get on the show. Oh, it's a Pokemon shirt. It's like, well, what Xbox shirt do you have? I'm waiting around for Nathan to pop out a Crackdown shirt or some shit.
Well, I got Hot Wheels.
There you go.
Also, if you want to question my Xbox loyalty, I bought an Xbox today.
Did you? How do you feel?
I already had one, but I bought another.
Oh, there you go.
I upgraded today.
All right.
Just fair warning, we just went live, so we can restart whenever, but we're live.
Fantastic. Great start to the show.
Donnie, I don't see your camera when you talk. I just see a black screen.
I see Donnie.
All right. Well, a second ago, I just saw a black screen. Anyway.
Testing. Hang on, Nathan. There's this weird thing that I ran into with Q the other day where I clicked on my camera and it didn't switch. So we streamed an entire podcast with just my face and not his. So just make sure you have it right before we really get started.
Oh yeah, we're good to go. But we're live, so people could hop on the chat and see what's happening. But Donnie, obviously, you'll probably want to edit out this little bit. But there was a lot of good stuff going on there, so I figured I'd go live and see if I can capture some of it.
This is special for the YouTube audience.
Yeah,
I think Sean would like to know, Donnie, what you did with your other Xbox.
Do you think he would? I don't know if I should. I mean, I will, but I don't want to jump on Jason's stuff.
Did you make a video where you threw it off a roof for clicks?
No, I didn't. No, we don't fight for clicks. We make nothing off of clicks, so we're not like.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I upgraded Xboxes today. No, it's okay. I upgraded Xboxes today. We'll get into the show proper. I'm trying to open up the live chat anyway, so this is perfect. I've been wanting an S for a while. The price discount really got me kind of really shopping hard, and so did the price drop on all the bundles. So I haven't played Battlefield 1 yet. The Battlefield stuff that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the battle stuff that came out yesterday made me feel like I was oh man, this is going to be really good. So I started shopping today and I was like, well, I had the white Xbox One special edition, the OG model.
Nice. That Overdrive.
Quantum.
Oh,
I got the Quantum bundle. Yeah. And so I was looking them up, and they're 150 to 175 used. Mine is in obvious pristine condition, and
obvious pristine condition.
Yeah, obvious. And I wipe my consoles down every day, and it was one of those weird things where if you check on eBay, a lot of the bundles did not include cables or controllers or anything. So if you wanted the exact same that I had, it was $200. So I was asking the people, I was like, I think I'm going to upgrade to an S. Now, I should preface this. This is going to blow away one of your points, Nathan, but it came out early today, as Sean knows, because I saw your reply. Jeff Keighley said Xbox One Scorpio $499. And I was like, well, that shoots me out of the water. I don't have the kind of money this fall. I want to buy these other games, so I'm going to upgrade to an S. It's price dropped. Time is right. Let's upgrade to the S today.
Yeah.
So I wanted to jump out there and do it. So I asked the guys in the chat, I said, if I sell my Xbox for 125, really to somebody that we know or something, that's a really good deal. It's super cheap. I'm selling it for less than I could probably get for it if I wanted to be stingy. And
definitely.
Jason wants one. Jason Lacey, our good friend, he's like, I want to play Battlefront with you guys, and we were excited about the Battlefront 2 trailer.
Yes.
So we're all kind of talking. We're planning on playing Battlefront 2 together on the Xbox Empire on Xbox this fall. So we're excited. And then Mo steps in and goes, Donnie, if you're gonna sell it for that cheap, I will buy it and give it to Jason.
No way.
And then I go, if you're gonna buy it and give it to Jason, then I'll sell it to you for $100.
Oh, this is the best.
If that's what we're gonna do, then I'll cut it even down even further, and I'll go get my S now, and you pay me when you can, and I'll ship this to Jason, and we'll just play Battlefront this fall. So Jason Lacey's getting a new Xbox One controller, cables, everything, and then I've got the new S right now, downloading Battlefield 1 right now that I'm super excited to play.
Are we
and
friends
I
on
watched
Xbox? What's your friend? You have to open up to everybody because I'm asking.
No, definitely friend me. It's on our website, but definitely friend me on Xbox. I'm Donnie K. Reese.
Just put it in the chat.
DonnieKreece. Yeah, definitely. And I'm super excited. I was super excited just to do it just for Jason. Just seemed like a really cool thing just to do. I was like, this is awesome. What a community effort. And yeah, I'm really excited. Nathan, do you want to start the show proper?
Are you guys
our
ready?
little story. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
We're only 15 minutes late. It's okay. All right. So if you guys are ready, it's going to be a little different than typical. We'll just kind of kick it off and just get right into the things. But are you guys ready?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's up, boys and girls, gamers alike? This is the Xbox E3 2017 Reaction Podcast, brought to you by Play Some Video Games, joint sponsored. Yes, sponsored. I don't know. Joined by Sean Capri as well. I don't know. Sean, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm muting my keyboard because I recently joined the Flex2Pose crew and got a mechanical keyboard, so it's way too clicky for podcasting right now. But I'm so excited to talk Xbox. We just finished watching the conference. I'm stoked. I think they did a phenomenal job, but I'm happy to talk more about that with you guys. This is awesome.
Absolutely. And they literally just ended 30 minutes ago as we start recording now. So fresh reactions for you, dear listeners. Also joining us is Josh. How are you today?
I'm great. What a great day. What a great conference that was.
You're like so mellow. Like, I'm great. What a great day.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's miserably hot here. I've had a kid crying all day. I'm just glad that the wife's home and the kid's outside.
There you go. Obviously, if you paid attention earlier today on the live show, Josh and I did a co-commentary for the Xbox E3 conference, which Donnie is also joining us. Donnie, will that be made available to podcast stream later, or is it going to be on YouTube later, like a joint thing? How's it going to work?
So it's going to stay on YouTube. I'd like to mix it over the actual show so folks can watch it. It'll just depend on the amount of time we have as we get through E3. It may be a little late. I don't think we'll release the audio on the podcast just because there's a lot of dead time and whatnot. It'd be a little weird to listen to his podcast.
Gotcha. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, this is the E3 reaction show. We are going to forego the normal formalities that Kevin likes to expound upon. However, I do want to get this out of the top of the show just so we don't forget it later. Gentlemen, you are all available on social media and Xbox Live, I believe. So, for our dear listeners, why don't you share your gamer tag and your Twitter handle so they can get a hold of you? Let's start again with you, Mr. Capri.
Yes, I am Sean Capri on everything. On Twitter, on the Xbox, it's Sean like Connery Capri, like the pants.
Very good. Josh.
So it's Why So Serious on Xbox. That's SIRRIUS. And it's Josh Bones on Twitter.
And Donnie.
I am at Playin' Nintendo on Twitter and on Xbox at DONNIEKREECE, Donnie K. Reese.
And you can find me on Twitter at Voiced by Nathan and also Spider Jedi on Xbox Live. And just a reminder, we have a great club on the Xbox club scene. We have the PSVG club. So if you want to join that, just shoot me a message or search for it in the club whatever it's called, club search, and we can get you in on there as well. Join a lot of the great community out there. I know that people have been getting together to play Overwatch and some other things, so it's a great time. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. Xbox One Scorpio has been renamed, or properly named, and I think it's fantastic, this name that they went with. The Xbox One X. This was totally not on my radar. Sean, I think I talked to you before about what they were going to name this thing, or I don't know, I talked to somebody, and I've talked to a lot of people. And I was going Ultimate, I was going Signature, I was doing all these other things, but Xbox One X just sounds fantastic. It sounds great. So, what do you guys think? Let's go with you, Donnie.
Hang on, as I unmute myself. So I don't mind the name. I think the name is fine. I don't think the name is better than Scorpio. I would have rather them kept Scorpio. I think Scorpio is better than Xbox One X. Just to make a funny joke, not that it matters, but it reminds me a lot of those MySpace usernames. I'm not sure how hipster trendy you are. Maybe it's my generation, but if you just Google like X that X and just hit search, there were tons of like MySpace names that did this back in the day. They were like X that girl X, X that X girl, X that football player X. Like it was just like a big thing that happened. And when I did some searching, there's even like people that carried it over to Twitter with Twitter handles. So when it was announced, that was really all I could think about. It was, man, That was 10 years too late. That would have been huge about 2002, but it's fine. I like that it's, you know, like they can keep their Xbox acronym, right? Because the acronym is Xbox One X. That's neat. I think maybe that's probably why they decided to go with that. But I do think Scorpio was a better name. I just like it. I think it sounded better. And plus they had done so much marketing, the project name almost like formally. I just felt like there was a groundswell of support for that one.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? What do you think of that name, Xbox One X?
It seems simple, but it did surprise me. I like it. It's like sing-songy. It fits well. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Yeah, and I think Donnie made a funny point because it is like everyone's like odd old Twitter handles, XX Josh Bones, XX. Like it's really funny.
Yep.
It's like surrounding itself in that and how extreme it is.
Extreme. That's what I was gonna say.
It's like a Linkin Park needs to be the soundtrack to the Xbox One X. So no, I think it's great. I think it works well. You know, they didn't have to be crazy clever, and you know, it keeps that brand. They wanted to stay Xbox One. You know, Xbox Scorpio kind of gets away from that Xbox One name. So I like that they still kept the name, and I like how every video we saw, it's, you know, it says Xbox One X enhanced. So you're not looking at these console exclusive games. So I like that.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great name. It rolls off the tongue, like you said, Xbox One X. You know, they have Xbox One and they have Xbox One S. It makes sense in the family of names when you think about it. Sean, what say you?
I am surprised to hear you guys say that, although I will take any positivity sent Xbox's way. Like right now, I think that they're doing a phenomenal job. I thought it was a great conference, but I don't think Xbox One X is terrific at all. I think the best part about it is that it lines up parallel to the One S. Like they look nice side by side, and as a product line, it looks really nice. But I think it's really like it's 3 X's in one product. Like it's really hard to. I think it's actually kind of hard to say. But other than that, like I think I've already started hearing people call it the X, which is better than, I think even better than Xbox One. Like it's funny how much thought and time and marketing and focus groups go into naming these things, because a lot of times we just call it something else anyways, or we come up with a shorthand version for it. So I think a lot of people will call this the X. I was surprised a little bit to see them hold on to the One. I don't think that it has, like Xbox One holds a lot of cachet. I almost would have liked to watch them get away from that as well, because it would imply more of a generational leap. And maybe we can get into this when we start talking about the specs, if that's what you want to do. But I think they're not really able to say this is like a next generational console, because they don't want to alienate people who own an S, or who have they don't want that division of libraries or audiences. But I really think that they should be able to come out and say, this is like the next Xbox. This is like going from PS3 to PS4 or Xbox 360 to the One. And I would also argue that even the visual enhancements that we're seeing is similar to the improvement that we got before. So that all kind of like boils down to the name. I'm surprised that we're still in the One family, but I get why they did that too.
You know, I'm watching the chat right now, and Jace is in the chat, and he said shorthand is Xbox. It really is.
Yeah.
XBO, Xbox One, Xbox.
Yep.
I mean, just call it Xbox, yeah?
Would you like it if they just called it the Xbox? I would.
I don't think so. I think that's confusing as well. I don't know what I wanted. So like that's the other part. Like,
I was gonna say, I think whenever you have multiple products, like this is the 3DS thing for like years. Anytime you have multiple products with different names, I think we all think that it's confusing. But you know, it's funny that they all still seem to sell millions. So I don't necessarily think it's all that confusing. I've often wondered if. Go ahead.
I was just gonna. At least it wasn't the new Xbox One. You know?
Right? the Xbox One 2. I often think that we think that people who play video games are dumber than they actually are. Like we're always like, it has to be simple for grandma, and it's like, does it really? Because there's all kinds of consoles that have like multiple versions, and they all seem to sell millions just fine. So
yeah, I compared more to the iPads and iPhones and stuff, right? So they because One is in the title, they couldn't have. You're right, they couldn't have done it 1, 2. So it's really not shocking that they ended up just doing a more excellent and extreme letter. Like maybe the next one is Z. I don't know. when they inevitably go on to the next version.
The Z box.
We would say Z, but I'll go with Z.
All right, so we've talked about the name. Let's talk a little bit about. Well, we've already kind of talked about the specs. We don't even need to talk about that again. But we do know.
Hang on. I want to interrupt. That was the nerdiest, and I loved it. But that was the dorkiest moment in the history of geekdom. Like, he just came out and was like, teraflop this and gigahertz that, and this is the. It was. I just couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. I was like, wow. I just imagine, like, if you were to bring your wife or girlfriend to E3 with you and he came out and said that, and you were sitting there getting excited and she's looking at you, like, the thoughts that would go through her head. It was funny. I'm not poo-pooing on it. It's great. It's super powerful. I get it. We get it because we're dorks. I'm just saying that if you step away from that and look back at it, that was really.
But they got it out of the way, didn't they?
Yeah,
like, they kind of kept it. Yeah. They dove in. They went super nerdy, and then they're like, "That's it." Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was a really nice way of kind of doing the opposite of what they did with the Pro. What was that, back in the fall, I guess?
Yeah.
When they really dwelled on it, like they told you all about the specs, and then they continued it on with every game they showed. Like, look at the clarity. Look how much better it looks. And everybody's like, I don't see a difference. I don't get it. And this one, instead of telling us how much better it looks, I actually did see a nice difference with everything that said enhanced on X or whatever the heck they're calling it. I think they did a better job than the Pro reveal did of showing us rather than telling us why this thing is important, why we want it, and why it looks great.
And along with that, was I the only one that watched this in 4K?
I did not.
Okay. So I know Donnie didn't. Sean?
No,
you
sorry.
Did. You did, Donnie.
Wrong hand. This hand.
Okay.
No, I absolutely did. I was able to hook up the S right before the show got started on the 4K TV that I have, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
But it looked good on mine too, and I don't have a 4K, and that was the other difference that I would say too, is that they were able to show me how good it looks on, and I don't have, and it was over the internet, it was streaming, and like so all those downgrades that you should get, and I don't have the best monitor of all time, but it looked awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked great. So I was watching it in 4K. Commentating with Josh, and I know, Josh, you were watching it on, I think, your Xbox, right? You were watching it on your Xbox?
I did it on my laptop just so I could do the chat and the...
Okay. And we were talking back and forth, like, those games still look great, but when I was watching it, it was, especially the opening of the conference, right? It did, from 480p to 720p to 1080p, and now 4K to show you, like, the difference in size of the screen and the utilization. It looked crisp, super, super nice on my 4K display. Obviously, they wanted to use their Mixer platform to kind of show it off a little bit. So they used Mixer to show it in 4K if you watched it there, and it was really well done. Did you watch it on Mixer, Donnie? Oh, yeah, you did. I mean,
Yep.
I can't think of names right now. It's been a long day. Sean, did you watch it on Mixer or YouTube?
No, it's just on YouTube. I was off of Jeff Keighley's stream and went as bumped it as high as it would go. But I mean, to me, I actually sort of wanted to watch it in the same way that I would be playing my games, which is on a 1080p display, and just wanted to, like, that's the true test. So we'll get into like purchase intentions as well, but in terms of the presentation, I thought it looked great on the display that I was watching on.
Yep. So sidestepping now into the design of the Xbox One X, when they showed that thing, I was super impressed. I saw that come up there and I said, is that the S or is that... Oh, it is the Xbox One X. When they said then that it was even the smallest console that they've ever built, I was really impressed. The power to get out of that small thing, and that it's liquid cooled. I mean, Josh, what the size? Does it matter to you what the size is? Because it doesn't matter that much, but it kind of does, right? Yeah,
I mean, I'll skip the obvious jokes that are running through my head right now.
PG.
When they first showed it, I was with you. I didn't know if they were showing the S when they were doing that profile like shot. And then when they put that up on the screen and you saw it next to the Xbox One S, I couldn't believe how small and how nice it looked. Like that was something that they kind of kept up their sleeve, and he knew that was going to be a big point when he brought that up. Like, he was just chomping at the bit to reveal. And I know we're going to get into the price later, but I mean, you can see where some of that money is going to. because they really put a lot of effort into making that super small. Like that's incredibly small. Like I just upgraded to the S myself recently, and that thing still blows me away every time I look at it, how small and quiet it is. So I'm really impressed by it and surprised.
I would say form factor matters more than anybody wants to admit. I think it actually had a lot to do with the way that PS4 outsold Xbox One originally. Everybody, it was just sort of a bit of a laughingstock how massive the original Xbox One is compared to the PlayStation 4. And now like Xbox has really got it down. This is some of the best looking consoles that we've ever seen. I think this is so impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Donnie, what did you think about that form factor? I know you just got the S. Can you imagine an even more powerful console smaller than what you just got?
Yeah, I can. I think realistically, I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't. I'm not like overly amazed by it being smaller. I mean, I didn't see like just a direct size comparison. So like, how much smaller is it than S? It's probably marginal, right? You know, like maybe an inch small size or something like that.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit there and go, oh my god, it's smaller. But real estate matters. Right. So like when I was setting up my S, like I had to move my TV forward so it could sit slightly behind it. You know, so like real estate matters. You want to have a small footprint if at all possible. I'm more impressed with the look than the size. The size didn't really care me. I mean, the look is just like super clean. And that's how I've always wanted all of my consoles to be. Just super clean, unobtrusive. Honestly, like to say non-eye catching, like I don't want to be staring at the box when I'm trying to stare at my TV, right? I walk in and just like see it. So like I want an unobtrusive, machine. It's great. It's super clean. It looks nice. It's like again, the tie to the Xbox One S is still there, as Sean has already brought into play. I mean, it looks like it's the Xbox One S's better looking cousin. I mean, it's right there in that line. So
and let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Everybody needs to have as much space available as possible because everybody already owns a PlayStation 4, so they're not getting rid of it, and that's fine.
I agree.
Take up all the room.
Yep.
You got multiple consoles so we can play everything and just end the console wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So before we leave the Xbox One X, and I want to dive into the games because there were 42 games and 22 exclusives. But before we leave the Xbox One X, they saved this to the last of the conference. But let's talk about it now. The pricing. Beforehand, I really thought with that price drop they announced for the Xbox One S, or that discount rather, that they were gonna come out and surprise us all with the price on this thing. But after I saw that it was liquid cooled and just the size and the form factor of that thing, I figured, what, this is probably going to be more than I want to pay. But they did announce coming out November 7th, $499. My heart sank just a little bit when that happened. Donnie, what about you?
It's dead on arrival. And I say that with a couple of things in mind. One, if you're interested in chasing that power, then it's a great value. A PC at that type of level is going to cost you way more than $500. I just feel like in the console market, you're really limiting yourself to a small demo. If that's like your point, if you're like $500 superpower console, I mean, I think the console market has proven more than once that a $500 console doesn't move. So it'll sell to the diehards. I'm not saying that. There's definitely Xbox diehards. There's definitely power chasers that it will sell to. But are we talking about mass market appeal or a niche appeal, right? And I get it that it's super powerful and it's a premium product for your premium clientele. But obviously that's not necessarily Microsoft's case. They want to sell as many as possible. So the only explanation I can give you is that they launch high, sell as many as they can, and then they price cut. And I mean, that's typically how every console goes. The $399 would have been the mic drop moment that everybody wanted, though. Yeah. And they could have sold exponentially more if they had hit $399. And I say that knowing that with the hardware and specs and everything that's in the box, $399 is probably out of the question. But just given the current, race, and they do want to win the race. I mean, that's not unimportant. $499 was a little bit of I wouldn't say a bummer. It was a great show, and the Xbox Scorpio has a lot to offer. Not just to get completely off of the price chat, but I was actually a little more upset with the date.
November 7th.
Late.
Yeah, it's late, isn't it? And I thought that, and apparently I was the only one, because I brought it up on our chat. We had a nice live chat going on with the conference, with our live reactions over at playsomevideogames.com/live, PSVG live. And I was the only one that thought the date was a bad idea, apparently. And everybody that was in our chat was like, no, it's fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, really? Because I think it does. Because all of the games that are coming out that you want to play on this fancy Scorpio all come out before Scorpio does. So
Not true.
well, most of them, the majority of them this fall.
The Call of Duty, the Destiny, all those things.
Exactly.
Well, those are all
Exactly.
November releases, right? Call of Duty, Destiny, September. But Call of Duty is November,
October.
right?
I thought Call of Duty was in October.
Oh.
I know, like 2K comes out before that, Madden comes out before that. Like a lot of games come out before November 7th.
I feel
So-
like Call of Duty might be like November 11th typically. Like, is that a like Veterans Day or something for you guys? Like, or Memorial or something?
I should know this,
In
but
November.
I think it is.
I feel like there's like a
Veterans
war related holiday in November that Call of Duty launches in or around. But anyways, that's
I do know like Assassin's Creed comes out October. Like there are more games coming out before Scorpio than after Scorpio.
that means when you pick up your Scorpio, they're all right there sitting next to it.
That's right.
That's right, but that also means you've been playing them all before you played them.
That's the other part. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the other side of it. Is
No,
you're
I'm
playing your
with you.
game for a month before you get the Scorpio, and that's fine. It's not a huge deal. I'm not. Please don't pencil me in as like the hater here. That's not a huge deal. I get it's the same disc. You'll pop it in. It'll look even better. You'll be happy. But it still is. You're playing a game on a system that's inferior to Scorpio before the Scorpio comes out, and then when you get your Scorpio, you're gonna be playing the same game. That's the point.
Donnie, I'll caution you and anybody else out there who's contemplating these November purchases or these September purchases. You know what's going to happen at the end of November? It's Black Friday. They're all going to be $25, $30.
Yeah.
If you want to get some games, wait until then.
So you're really telling folks to stop playing games that they want to play until the Scorpio comes out.
No, I'm saying that, look, there's a lot of these games that are coming out at that time, and you've got a ton of games now to play. Like Destiny will probably take up a ton of time coming out in September. I've got a backlog, a forest of like 200 games to play. So I can, if I can wait, that's what I'm going to do personally. And I'll save 30 months.
It's like Cuphead September. I'm not waiting for Scorpio to play Cuphead.
Cuphead's a day one purchase. I heard you say it was $20, right?
Yeah. Scorpio, Cuphead looked great.
Right. There's a lot of play with the pricing here too, though, right? With the $4.99 of the X, and then this discount down to $1.99. I think that this does a couple of things, and you kind of brought it up right at the start, Donnie, which is, it does what they did at E3 last year, which is it somehow manages, even though they're announcing stuff that's happening far, far in the future, it's managing to translate it into sales right now. So at $199 or a more expensive, maybe Xbox One X is out of some people's price range. They go, well, I can't do that. So instead, I'm going to buy a One S instead. So we may see this nice lift. This might be like leveraged in the sort of I don't even think it would be a flagship, but really the main part of the Xbox One family. And I think also that the price point sets a new kind of like timeline for the product life cycle. So it sort of like preempts whatever PlayStation's going to do next if they've got another console ready. Like it'll be interesting to see where PlayStation goes in terms of power. Are they going to match? Or are they going to outdo the One X? And if so, then like what price do they launch at? Like it preempts that. So that's another aspect of it. And then the third thing is power attracts developers. It attracts new games and new experiences. So this is kind of like front loading for Xbox. This is a way to bring back all those developers who left for the power of the PlayStation 4. So it's a little bit, we may not even see the benefits of this for a little while, but it ensures that developers who want to make the best looking games are going to remain in the Xbox family. And we're going to start to see people catch up to the One X as the price drops and becomes more affordable. People will jump into that. And then I think we're going to start seeing like this rolling as we move forward into new generations. We're not going to have the stop gaps in between like 360 to the One. We're going to see us roll through it. And I think this is just the start of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And like you said, sorry, go ahead.
I also want to say Forza is out a month before.
Yeah. Forza.
Yeah, and it's like that's the one you really want to play on Scorpio. Like they're like, look how amazing Forza is. It's going to be out. You're going to play it a month before the Scorpio comes.
So, but you got to look at who's going to like. who that affects, because it affects different people differently, right? So people who have an Xbox right now, they're gonna buy Forza day one because you should, because Forza is A plus, like that is a 9 out of 10 type of experience. So you're gonna buy it. You've already got an Xbox One S. Then when the Scorpio, when the X comes out, then you get a nice boost. You like, that's great for you. But for the people who don't have it at One X, just because it came out before, that doesn't impact them at all. They're gonna pick it up alongside the One X.
I think you're right. And again, just to reiterate, it's not that I think it's awful news or like it's going to kill it.
It's late. I totally agree.
I'm all for it. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity. Like, what's the better scenario here? The best scenario is that you get your console out before all these games release so that people can be excited to play them on the new box. That's all I'm saying. It's just, it's not the best scenario.
Or you also have all those people making their wish lists at that time too, and saying, "Hey, I really, really, really want an Xbox One X." So, I mean, there's always that to contend with as well. Josh, you've been silent for too long. Give me your thoughts.
Well, I see Donnie's point a little bit. I don't think it's dead on arrival though. I think that's a little extreme. I think we're going to see numbers like the PS Pro. Like, I think it's like 1 out of every 5. PlayStation sales as a Pro out of the PS4. Yeah, it comes out around the holiday time, so the big sales are going to go to the hardcore Xbox fans and all the hardcore gamers who want to play. And then you're going to have the kids who put an Xbox One X on their Christmas list, and you'll have the parents that don't know what they're buying and will go buy it. They don't care that it's $500, and then you'll have the parents who go, well, yeah, but there's this Xbox One S is half the price, so you're going to get that instead. So I think the price is a problem, and I kind of always saw it coming in at $499. I thought that the $399 was kind of wishful thinking, and I get it because no one wants to pay $500 for a console right now, especially with the gap between how long it's been since the Xbox One has been out. You know, we expect a couple more years in our console lifespan. And I mean, oh God, if PlayStation comes out with a PlayStation 5, I don't know what that would do to Sony or to Xbox One X console buyers. But God, do I want it? Yeah. Like, I want that console.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. And I agree with Donnie. The second he commented that that when they released that Forza release date, that's tough to show off this game and to say this is a game you want to play on the X, and it is a month earlier. I think the right people will wait for it and buy it on the X, but I mean, that's big. That's a big
But it's
gap.
the same game.
It is the same game. I agree. But like, I don't know. I feel like
I mean, like, if you're an Xbox owner already, then you're just going to pop the disc into the X and it'll play.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, but you've probably already played it.
If you,
oh,
when
dude,
you buy new hardware,
and you put that,
hardware, you want to put on the new shiny thing, not the old thing.
When back in the day, this is how old I am. When I bought my first big screen TV, it was a 57-inch rear projection TV. It was massive, right? Like the high-end, like 1080p TV. What did I put in my DVD player? I put in Jurassic Park. That movie is like 20 years old at the time, but I wanted to have like the big sound, this great movie. I just got a visual upgrade in my home theater, and I put in like a 15-year-old movie. And I think there's going to be no problem for people who bring home the Scorpio and they're like, I just got this brand new this racing game that I know how it looks. This is about as close to a side-by-side upgrade as I might be able to do, or as a comparison. I think it's going to work really well to reinforce people and kind of remove any buyer's remorse, and just for them to think, I just made a really great decision, because it looked pretty good before, but it looks amazing now.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
3.
You kind of get that instant gratification when you do that too, I guess. Like, if you've been playing it for a month and now you want to see how much of a difference it makes. Yeah, I can totally see that.
And your whole other library of games too. Like, they talked about Gears of War and Forza Horizon 3, like a lot of these other games that they should, or Minecraft, which I don't really get into, but yeah, man, I think it was amazing how, and just kind of like looking through Twitter, and I was talking to some people just before coming on here, like, it's amazing that I really feel like this was a strong conference, and there's a whole bunch of butts getting tossed around. Everybody's throwing their butts around here.
Hashtag butts.
Hashtag butts. But it's
All
like,
right.
holy crap! What can Microsoft do to finally get a break? And this was everything they had, and I'd still worry that it's somehow not enough.
I disagree, and let's get into this conference as a whole. Let's get past the Xbox
I'm glad
One
you
X.
disagree, because I want somebody like you. We need more people like you, Nathan. Although that's not the first time you've heard that.
So we'll come back to whether or not we want to purchase one personally at the end of the show, at the discussion of this podcast. So there were 42 games that were shown on the stage. You know, for a long time, people have been asking, oh, Xbox doesn't have any games. There's 22 that were exclusives in some way. So Xbox brought the games. Make no mistake, nobody can say there's no games on Xbox. There were 42 on stage. That's fantastic. That's huge.
They had games before this too.
What's that?
They had games before this too. 90% of the games out there are on both platforms. So just stop it with that messaging.
Right. And so half of what they showed on this conference is exclusive to Xbox in one way or another. Yeah. So let's begin. I'm just going to kind of go down in the way that they displayed them out on the conference. They started with Forza Motorsport 7, the game that I think is, going to be your tech display of the Xbox One X. And we already talked a little bit about the release date for that. It's going to be in October. It looked amazing. That desert, it looked like Dubai or something like that, racing around. I thought it looked fantastic. Obviously, Forza is a great series. The Motorsport series is for those the uninitiated. There's Forza Horizon and there's Forza Motorsport. Motorsport is the more simulation racing. Horizon is more of the open world and
fun racing.
Fun racing, yeah. You race boats and planes in Forza Horizon 3, and it's just strictly cars. Although I saw semis in this Forza Motorsport 7. Sean, you want to race some semis?
Yeah, man, I'll race anything. And I actually think that even with Motorsport 5 and 6, they started to kind of get away from the hardcore simulator thing. Like, I actually think that it's really accessible, and I started to get more of that sense with the reveal this time around too. Like, if you want that, it's definitely there, but I think that it's more for everybody than they even let on. So I can't wait to see what they do with this one if they start to lean in more, because I think the main difference, other than simulation versus sort of like arcade, is the open world nature of Horizon is vastly different than what you get with Motorsport versus the hardcore kind of aspect of Motorsport.
Mm-hmm. Donnie, I know you're a fan of Motorsport, or of Horizon at least.
Yes.
But are you a Motorsport guy?
No.
Give it a try.
The only thing that got me interested, I tried the last one on Xbox. What was that not good enough? I can't try the last one. I have to try the new one.
I'm gathering you didn't like it. Like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's fine. It looks gorgeous and it races great. Motorsport's like Turismo, right? I don't like Turismo either. I was all into Horizon because it was goofy. I like the time trials. I like hitting the signs. I like the music. I like the flavor. Nathan knows all about this. I spent like an hour on a podcast last fall talking about how amazing Forza Horizon 3 was. It was the same incredible. I absolutely loved it. And Motorsport doesn't bring any of that to the table. So I was like, oh, pretty cars. Yawn.
Josh, what do you think of the comparison between the on-stage Porsche and the on-screen representation?
I mean, it's just a gimmick, whatever. That didn't do anything for me. It's just a car. Like, you can bring cars out all day. I'm kind of with Donnie on this one. I really enjoy Horizon and games like Burnout and stuff like that, but I just never got into the simulation games. I definitely can appreciate them. And I used to watch my brother play Gran Turismo and enjoy watching that. But I prefer more arcadey racing. It's just personal preference. I think the game looks gorgeous, and I'll for sure try it out, but I don't think it's a purchase for me.
So for me, definitely going to have to try it out, but it's not a day one purchase for me. I believe that with Motorsport, I don't gravitate towards it as much as I used to because Horizon is just fantastic. But they did showcase the the weather system and the way things looked, you know, with a lot of the realism and effects. And I mentioned yesterday when I did the commentary for the EA conference when they showed Need for Speed that the realism just wasn't there for when that car went off road onto the dirt. I like that kind of realism that you can feel, you know, you're hydroplaning or you're dragging because you're on sand or something like that. And Forza is going to be fantastic for those realism people like me that want to play it. But I will not be getting it day one. That's not going to be a day one purchase for this guy. But I will get it eventually. It'll be great. Moving on, Metro. I didn't catch the subtitle of it, but it is the latest in the Metro series. And was this an exclusive in any way, guys? I didn't note if it was or not. That's before I started taking note if it was exclusive or not.
So I've got the press release from Xbox. It was Metro Exodus from Deep Silver. It was a world premiere. That was it. But all the other Metro games, I think you can find everywhere else too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's third party everywhere.
Yeah.
And that looked fantastic, right?
That
I mean, it
looked
looked like a
great.
combination of people were in our chat talking like, that looks like Metro, that looks like Fallout, you know, a combination of the two when it turned out being Metro. So it looks like that is definitely up the alley of Mr. Kevin of PSVG fame. So for me, I think that it looks good, visually stunning, of course, but I may have to, again, wait on that one a little bit later if I even played it at all. Might be a little too scary for me, you guys. Might be a little too scary. Donnie, are you going to be able to play that one with your kids around?
I've played games like that with my kids around for sure. I'm the horror movie frantic and all that here, so that doesn't really bother me at all. I played Metro Last Light on PC on my laptop. When I bought my laptop, it was all for like gaming and everything. I was like, I'm become a PC gamer. It was one of the first things that I bought, and it was okay. It was cool. This one looks gorgeous. I'll give it that. It looks beautiful. Definitely that Far Cry stuff. Kevin was jonesing all about it in the chat. He was going on and on and on. I don't know if I'm going to seek it out. It's definitely wouldn't call it a day one purchase. Just like I got Metro Last Light. I got it on sale and I checked it out. I never beat it. I just kind of played it for a night and was like, that's cool. And I'm gonna go play something else. And I nothing about this one made me feel differently other than it. I mean, it's really pretty. If you're buying a Scorpio and you want to show your friends how pretty Scorpio can be, then that's definitely an option.
Yeah. Josh, what say you?
You know, it was another one. I know it uses in-game footage, and people need to be wary of that because it's not going to look that good when it comes out. But it looks great. I like the theme. I like that it kind of adds that little bit of horror aspect to it, where you get the jump scares and stuff. I'll be more interested to see a little bit more when we get some like real gameplay. It's just I'll always be like this ever since Killzone. I'm terribly skeptical of in-game footage stuff at E3. So no matter how good it looks, no matter how good Anthem looked, like. I need some in-game. I need someone playing the game, not with a fake controller in their hand pretending to play it. So, like, well, we'll get to it, but I couldn't really get into the Metro games. I like the storytelling aspect of it, but for whatever reason, I played them when they were like $5 on the 360. Does that sound right?
Yeah, they were on 360. They were also re-released on Xbox One, and they were steeply discounted there too. I think one of them was Game with Gold at one point.
Maybe that's where I played it. I mean, it kind of adds like the Fallout aspect to the games, and I'm not a Fallout guy, so it kind of just it makes me want a different shooter when I play it. So it might not be for me.
Is it for you, Sean? Do you like this game?
So this reveal actually did something weird for me, which is it made me want to go back to play the other games where I didn't really know anything about them, but I saw this. I'm like, what world is this? Like, this looks really kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to this, and I will go back and play the older one. So yeah, man, I'm into it. That reveal sort of had like this weird, what is this? Like, is this like, who made this? Is this like is this a BioShock, or is it influenced by BioShock? And then I'm like, oh, this is another game in that series. So obviously I was intrigued here. Maybe it's got aspects to the gameplay that I had no idea about that I want to experience now.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, definitely when I was watching it with Josh, I was like, I got no clue what this game is, but I want to know what happened, why the world is like this, and what's going on. I want to know the story. So it's definitely got an intriguing story behind it. Speaking of stories, world premiere exclusive, not exclusive, world premiere. So this is the first time there were anybody to see it officially. Assassin's Creed Origins was revealed. Ancient Egypt is the setting, and I am super stoked for it. It looks fantastic. For me, I've always been fascinated with the Ancient Egypt time frame or whatever, and it's cool that this is going to be the original, group of assassins versus the original Templars. Probably, maybe the originals, but I'm looking forward to this one. Cool that they got this exclusive reveal locked up at their stage. So that's kind of a big move for them. People might associate this with with Xbox One X and go forward with that. So, Donnie, Assassin's Creed Origins, thoughts?
I agree with you. I think it's cool that they had a big hitter at their conference. That's great. If anybody can take it and sell more, I mean, that is good for Xbox. It's good for Ubisoft. That's great. That's good stuff. I'm just not really. I was chatting on whether I don't think I'm really into Assassin's Creed anymore. Right?
This one
I did
good,
Syndicate. Though. I did Syndicate, and it was fine. It's a big open world. You get to run around, kill people. I mean, there's a bajillion games like that now, and I feel like there's so many others that do it better. And here we have another giant open world game where you run around with a bow and arrow. Like, I just played Horizon for like 50 hours. Like, I don't know, like if it's just the timing or whatnot, but I was like, oh god, not another one. Like they showed Metro. You're like a giant open world. You're running around with a bow and arrow, and it's like, here's another one. I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 3, and knowing how many people hated that one, it makes me feel like maybe I'm just not really in that demo anymore. Because I really like 3, and I didn't like Black Flag, and I didn't like the first one that was on Xbox was like Origins or Divinity or whatever it was called. Unity. And then there you go, and I didn't Unity, and I didn't like Syndicate. And Syndicate was better, but I still wasn't like a huge fan. It's just when it comes to open world games, I feel like I've experienced so much more that now like the bar has been raised for that, and it looks good. Definitely I called it, and which I give Josh a lot of credit for, and they showed the eagle. I was like, so they've basically just brought a drone here, and Mo said that eagle is a Far Cry thing, and I was thinking like Ghost Recon, and it reminded me of like Ghost Recon and Watch Dogs, and yeah, it's good stuff, and I hope I'm glad that the series took some time away.
So
definitely go ahead.
As an aside, you said your favorite Assassin's Creed is 3. PSA for our listeners that are watching live or will listen soon, it's free currently for Game with Gold members.
That's right. I downloaded it earlier today when I brought my new thing home. So I mean, I realized a lot of people didn't like that one, and I did because I liked the story. And to your point, you think you're somewhat fascinated with ancient Egypt, and maybe I would be too. Let's just say that I've seen enough about what this fall has to offer that this isn't at the top of my to-do list.
Yeah.
And that's not an Xbox thing. That's just a gaming thing.
There's so many games coming out, right? There's no way that we can
Absolutely
buy and play every game as they come out this fall, or ever, really. So, Sean, what do you think? Assassin's Creed Origins?
I was intrigued for sure. I thought it was a really good reveal, and I think that stealth is a really hard thing to show, and I think it actually surprised me on how well that and how much fun that played. The combat looked okay, but like still kind of like stiff, and like it looked a little bit more fluid, but I still feel like Assassin's Creed just doesn't really do it for me. I like what Ubisoft is doing with their open world games, and but because of like a lot of the different crossovers that are happening, a lot of the stuff that Donnie just talked about, like I'll get that elsewhere, and I think that's okay. I think that's sort of what Ubisoft is doing, is just putting a slightly different flavor on similar game mechanics, and just seeing like what world do you see yourself wanting to jump into. And for me, it's not Assassin's Creed, but it's some of their other stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's okay. But I think that a part of it too, being it like this is not an Xbox thing, it's an Assassin's Creed thing, speaks to a much larger issue, which is like all the amazing work that PlayStation has done, locking up Far Cry and Call of Duty and Destiny and Red Dead Redemption and all these massive did I say Destiny? And Destiny, by the way, if I didn't say Destiny as well. Yeah, man. Like, so like this was their big, like one of their big, huge third-party titles, and it's just, if you don't care about it, you really don't care about it. But there are, obviously, Assassin's Creed is a massive franchise, so it'll have some impact, but it wasn't for me.
Anything to add, Josh?
I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I know we lost Donnie for a second, but I really liked Assassin's Creed 3. as well. But I was like one of the few people that enjoyed the out of the Animus stuff, which a lot of people hated. I really like the story, but they have to win me back because Unity was a colossal failure and a game that probably shouldn't have been released. And I never gave the Syndicate a chance because I was so upset about Unity. But this one intrigues me. It looks better. I like that it has the level up system, the leveling system. It looks like it has a gear system. When they picked up like a blue bordered bow and arrow, so it looks like they have different types of gear you can get. And it looks like they kind of did overhaul the fighting system a little bit, if we're to assume that's in game. So I'm excited about it. We'll see as they keep showing more. I love the theme though. I'm a big fan of that theme. Like it's like I see that it reminds me of Stargate, and stuff like that, and that stuff really gets me going. So I'll give it a shot. As of right now, it's a buy for me, but that could change.
Yeah.
Nice. So before we move on to the next game, I'm seeing in the chat here that Kyle has said that the Xbox One X has not yet received FCC approval. That's why we can't do pre-sales yet. So that could also be why it's coming in November, because now they probably have to submit it to FCC for their approvals and do the whole process, because November 7th is less than 4 months from now. So keep that in mind. So breaking news, or not really breaking news, but more clarification. Thank you, Kyle. So let's move on to PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which it appears to be an exclusive, not just a time exclusive, but an exclusive. Do we have confirmation on that?
So I was watching because there was a lot of people just didn't know. There was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, come on,
Confusion.
Unknown.
Confusion. Thank you. There you go. There was a lot of confusion on Twitter because I was helping Q with the Twitter, and boy, did Q dominate the Twitter today. Like he is just great at that stuff, man. He covered every single announcement. I give him super credit, and he put it out there as exclusive, and I saw a lot of people. And it wasn't until Ryan McCaffrey said that it's a console launch exclusive, which means timed exclusive. So it appears like it's
Isn't that amazing how often they said that? Like they've come up with a different way of saying timed exclusive that like was just confusing enough to not upset people immediately.
I would prefer that they said timed exclusive.
I agree with you. It's way more clear.
Like it doesn't bother me at all. I'm happy that you got a timed exclusion. That's great. Like
there's a lot.
Do that,
man. I was surprised. Like it seemed like that burned them with Tomb Raider, but like they've really doubled down on this notion of getting the game onto their console first. Like I did not expect that at all.
It was funny because Phil said he didn't want to do that anymore after
they were loaded with it. I mean, holy crap.
Exactly.
So, PlayerUnknown's Battleground, has anybody in this chat played that? I have not.
I didn't even know what that game was when it happened, and Twitter was like, "Oh!" And I was like, "I have never heard of it."
It's huge on the streaming scene. I know, like everybody loves watching that game. Sean, have you played?
Do they? Okay.
I haven't, but I knew enough to know that this was a massive get for Xbox. And actually, we were talking about it on our predictions episode. I got to give a big shout out to Brock McLaughlin. He called this. And like I would never have seen this coming. This is a massive get for Xbox. This was one of those this was sort of a mic drop moment because this has a movement and a massive community around it. To bring that to Xbox is really huge. So I'm excited. I know that a bunch of people I was talking to, we were all saying now I can finally jump into it because I have an Xbox, but my PC isn't more powerful enough. So I'm pumped for it. I can't wait.
All right. For me, it doesn't do a ton. It looks interesting. I might check it out if the price is right, but
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like it's not quite a $60 game. Maybe it is, but
I mean, I'd check it at like if it was on sale for around 15, somewhere in there probably, but before that, I'm not in. Josh, what about you?
You can't, if you go online or YouTube, you can't escape this game. It's everywhere. So I'm gonna guess it's coming out at $40, and I think I would try it at that. I don't think you're gonna see anything lower than that until the game's out and they kind of see what their player base is. Like if it comes out at 40 and people aren't jumping on it because they're playing on the PC, you might see it come down to like 30 or maybe 20. I think it looks cool. I think it's one of those kind of games that I wish I could play on my PC, like Sean said, but I just don't have a powerful enough rig. So I would for sure try it on the Xbox. It really, all these games, it just really depends on when it's coming out and what's coming out against it. And that's just how it is from September to December. It's like that for every console. So if it's out at the right time, on the right week, on the right day, at the right price, I'll get it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is another launch exclusive, Deep Rock Galactic, which this one looked like, kind of Team Fortress meets Minecraft meets something else. And that may not be the full title, Deep Rock Galactic, but Josh, let's circle back to you on this again. For me personally, I don't care about this game. What about you?
Yeah, it looks like one of those Microsoft arcade titles that I wouldn't purchase. I think it's cool that it's on the console, and there's definitely a market for it, but I'm not interested in it.
Yeah. Sean?
Yeah, I thought it looked interesting. I was actually more interested in seeing who is behind it, who made this game, and I couldn't quite. It was close to. I feel like it was close to the name that Ken Levine had come up. I think it was like Ghost Ship versus Ghost Story developer. So I was more trying to figure out who made it to try and get a sense of whether I want to get in on this. Because otherwise, it's like on its own, I don't think that it really did enough to win me over.
Yeah, me neither. Donnie?
I'll play it when it comes to games with gold for my subscription service.
Yeah, that's like a perfect game with gold game, right?
Yep. They should launch it like they did with Rocket League on PlayStation 4.
See, and that would probably be a good idea because otherwise people aren't going to want to lay down any money for this. If they want to catch a Rocket League type of success, that would be a good idea. All right, let's move on to a full-blown exclusive, which is State of Decay 2. I haven't played the first one, but I understand that it's fantastic. It's reviewed really well. The second one, again, I won't buy day one, if ever. But Sean, what do you think about State of Decay 2, and have you played the first one?
I haven't played the first one, and I don't know if it was just me or maybe I was distracted or not. Like, I have no idea how this game plays. Like, I get the sense of like there's tough choices to be made, and there's life and death and those sorts of things, and there's zombies and whatever. But I don't really know what I'm doing in this game, and that was sort of unfortunate for me because maybe there was too big of an assumption that everybody knows State of Decay and that it's this massive game, and I don't think that it's as ubiquitous as Xbox might want to think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Donnie, go ahead.
I played State of Decay, played on my PC, and I really like it. Sean, it's basically The Walking Dead, the simulator. So it's zombies, like you said, but it's not like just shoot every zombie and shoot thousands and thousands and thousands of zombies and win. No, it's resource management. You like go out and fetch quests to keep your party alive. You build relationships with them. They can die, and there's like permadeath, and you lose them forever. You can die, and you come back as like a new person. It is actually really, really cool. It's one of the top games for me in this show. I'm really excited. Yeah, the first one, State of Decay, the first one's really rough. It's kind of rough around the edges. It's glitchy and it's janky, but the concept's good enough that you put up with it and you keep playing it, right? And so it's one of those like fans of the genre. Like it won't bother if you like it. And I'm kind of hoping the State of Decay 2 like blows that out of the water, and it's like here's the supreme polished version of this concept we've been working on for years. But it's 2018. And it's one of those things that I'm gonna Nathan, I'm just going to let you know now. I'm going to bring this up quite a bit because if I hold PlayStation to dates, I've got to hold Xbox and Nintendo
Absolutely,
to dates.
as you should.
And man, I heard a lot of 2018 today, and I didn't really enjoy it.
It was about half 2018, half 2017, but I figure that
put
most
that like 70-30, but we'll see as we keep going.
Yeah, we'll see how it is. But Josh, what did you think about State of Decay 2, and have you played the first?
No, I'm actually like a mirror of Sean on this one. I don't know what happened. I never got into the first one. I don't even know if I knew when it launched. It was just kind of there. So I wasn't familiar with the gameplay style, but I knew that it was very highly reviewed. So even watching the trailer, I didn't really get a good idea of what the gameplay is like, but it did interest me a lot. So I'll be definitely interested in checking it out and seeing what it looks like and how it plays. And yeah, 2018 is a little bit ways off, but I mean, we're at E3. We're going to see a lot of 2018 Windows, so that doesn't really bug me that it's 2018.
Look at it this way: you'll have your Scorpio already by 2018, so you won't have to play it on an inferior console. So it'll be ready for you when you have your Xbox One X.
Man, yes, that is the optimistic take on this situation. You're absolutely right.
Hey, someone's got to be the optimist.
If you had asked me before today, like what to expect, I would have told you my locks: Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, this fall, 2017 Xbox. I would have told you those were locks earlier today, and I would have been wrong.
But I think that's a symptom of like the overemphasis on exclusives in the Xbox, where like PlayStation's gotten away without having the exclusives until now. Like just recently, they're just killing it. But really, it was, you know, the greatest lineup in Xbox history was 5, you know, massive Xbox exclusives, and they were killing it for the longest time. And at the time, that it didn't seem to matter. But now the PlayStation has their exclusives, and that they got that straightened away. Now exclusives matter, and it's just strange how this narrative sort of goes back and forth.
That's
I think
true.
that we're going to have a lot of stuff to play on it. If you have an Xbox, you're super happy. And again, I'll just keep repeating myself here. This is a product of the marketing deals that Xbox can't talk about some of the biggest games, and they sort of made mention of it. The games that are cross-platform will look best on Xbox One X, but they can't really talk about it, and people forget about it, and that's where we get this sort of recurring narrative that man, there's the exclusives aren't coming for a while, so I guess I got nothing to play. And I just, you know, I get it. Like that's basically what they're showing us, but it takes a little bit more like, okay, what is coming and what am I going to be able to play on my Xbox? And I think there's a lot there.
So it wasn't just that they were exclusive that I would say to expect them. I would say to expect them this fall because they were already shown.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen Crackdown. We've already seen State of Decay 2. We've already seen these games announced. We expected them to be here.
Well, Crackdown will be November 7th, which I will give credit to, and we haven't gotten there yet, but Jace Baldridge called it. He had a prediction for my show, and he said it's going to be a launch title, which is November 7th for Crackdown 3, same day as 7th or 17th for the X.
7th.
Yeah,
November 7th.
launch title. He called it. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
So let's continue on to another launch exclusive, which I believe is coming out in 2017. And that is the Darwin Project, which looks like player unknown a little bit, which is that, what do you call it? Hunger Games type game where it's last person standing, battle royale feel, which they had a shoutcaster for this one, which no, thank you.
No, he was awesome.
But it looked fun.
Come on, man. He was so fun.
It looked fun, but again, bargain bin for me or game with gold. I don't think I would be laying down money on this unless someone just says this is the best game ever. You have to play it. So let's go to you, Donnie. What do you think about this Darwin Project game?
Same as you. Why don't you talk about it, Josh?
There we go.
I am not interested. Pass.
Sean?
Well, I won't let my enjoyment of the shoutcaster permeate into or bleed into the game. It was fine. This is not really my jam, but it was interesting enough, and hopefully there's somebody out there that wants that type of game. But yeah, not really for me.
Yeah. Let's move on because we don't want to talk about that game. Minecraft. Now, okay, so I don't care about Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft. Never purchased Minecraft. I have the Telltale story mode, but I haven't even played that yet. But they're doing something really cool. 2 things that they announced on the stage today, which was that they will, and this is huge. This is a huge announcement. True cross-platform play between mobile consoles, PC, VR. They are undiscriminatory. If you play Minecraft and you have someone else you want to play Minecraft with, no matter where they are, you will play with them. This is a huge announcement. This is a herald of things to come, hopefully in the future, because from this announcement, and hopefully there's some clarification that comes along just to prove this, that means if you're on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, you can play together. So that's a megaton. Donnie, give me your thoughts on this.
Kyle says the cross-console play does not include PlayStation, just Xbox and Nintendo.
Shocker.
Okay,
And-
but we love Nintendo.
That's
Big shocker.
hilarious.
Big shocker.
my-
PlayStation's not on board with this.
My reaction is this: Xbox just sold me on a Nintendo Switch copy of Minecraft because
There you go.
my son absolutely adores and loves Minecraft, and my daughter, she likes to play kind of. Not always, but she likes to dabble with it. And if I can buy the game on the Switch and let my daughter play with my son, who's already playing on an Xbox, yeah, I'm totally in because we own it basically everywhere. I've been holding off on the Switch version and will continue to hold off until I see reviewers actually show me how this works. But if this works as promised, totally in. Absolutely. Good sale.
So, but you mentioned that your son plays it on Xbox One, and if you get a Scorpio, are you going to get the super duper graphics pack?
I am getting the super duper graphics pack, but not on Scorpio.
Let's go with you, Josh. What do you say?
Well, I just want to say this. While we were doing the live stream, I said, just wait until PlayStation pulls the cord on this or pulls the plug on this. I don't know what their deal is. Can't we just all get along and let Xbox play with Sony? I mean,
honestly, I was surprised that Kyle said that because I didn't think that maybe PlayStation could control that. I mean, I understand it's their platform, but it's Xbox's servers. Or I mean, not Xbox. Well, Xbox. It's Mojang servers. So I figured that maybe Mojang could patch the servers together no matter what console you're playing on. But apparently, PlayStation has some control over server access.
It's got to be like. I don't know.
But it's not like Mojang is playing on PlayStation servers. Like I'm pretty sure anybody playing Minecraft's playing on Mojang servers, right?
Let's be honest. Let's be real here. PlayStation doesn't have a real network anyway, so that's why somehow Nintendo's been able to outdo them on that. So let's not. I mean, PlayStation does a lot of things right, but let's be real. Their network is god awful.
Yeah, they have a network. It's just never working.
Exactly.
Any other thoughts, Sean?
I will agree that this is another massive thing. But it's not really for me. But it is maybe. I think that it's bigger than the announcement itself. That is a possibility for games. Period. I think that's really what I'm mostly excited about.
Same here.
And eventually, I've got a kid. Like eventually, he'll pick up a controller and probably be playing Minecraft. So I think it would be cool if I was playing on Xbox and he was playing on Switch or something like that. Sort of same.
Yeah, and again, the promise that is given by this announcement of being able to play across multiple platforms. I mean, this means iOS. So Apple and people playing on Xbox can play together. Microsoft and Apple playing together. That's cool. So would love to see Sony hop on board and get in on this. We saw, the similar withdrawal from them on Rocket League. So one day we'll all be able to set down our arms and play together. So it'll be great. But I did mention the super duper graphics pack, which did look really cool as far as, showing the enhanced textures, and lighting is really the biggest thing I saw from there. But again, just it's something to do with Minecraft that I could care less about. So moving on, Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
Snore.
Really?
Boring.
No.
Snore. Nap time.
DBZ Fighters looked awesome.
It
looked really good.
Yeah, it did.
It looked great.
I will pass on it, but it did look great. So we know what Josh thinks. Sean, what do you think?
I think it looks great, but I always want to get way more into Dragon Ball games than I ever do. So I hope that it's not history repeating itself. But my main thing with Dragon Ball fighting games in the past is that they feel very stiff, but this looked more kind of like Marvel versus Capcom kind of fluidity. Like I thought that was super cool. Like that's kind of what I've been wanting with Dragon Ball Z Fighters. So I can't wait.
Yeah,
I want to see what's going on.
So, Donnie, give me your robust opinion.
Well, DBZ Fighters leaked last week, or at least rumors came out that DBZ Fighters were coming. So as soon as they showed Dragon Ball Z, I was in the chat and I was like, well, this should be the fighting game. And it was. And I was even more impressed than I thought I could be, because it just makes a lot of sense. Like we have this little like RPG, like adventure game that goes on forever. Like we've had these series for a while, but Dragon Ball Z just deserves a good Street Fighter, Marvel, Capcom, just fighting game. Your favorite Dragon Ball Z characters just beating the snot out of each other. I mean, that's what the game really should have always been. And it looked great. Like it looked like the anime in fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a fan of the cartoon, I know Lobo's way more of a fan than me, but we are both fans. Just like he and I are both fans of Pokemon. He's probably a bigger Pokemon fan than me. But if you were a fan of Dragon Ball Z, then absolutely, that hit all the right notes. And it looks awesome. It looks looked very fluid, very fast. All the characters he wanted to be there. I mean, the animation, the color, it was bright. It looked gorgeous. Yeah, I'm in for it. I can't say that, it's not at the very top of my shopping list, but it's absolutely a fighter that I will pick up at some point in time.
That's a game that if it came on sale for like between $5 to $10, I could probably see myself grabbing and checking it out. Like I did for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I waited until it was on sale just recently for a super low price of under $10. I would do the same thing for Dragon Ball Z.
You can't buy like a season of 20-year-old anime Dragon Ball Z for $5 or $10. It's like the IP. The IP alone is worth more than that.
I totally bought a season of Dragon Ball Z for under $10 a few months ago on the Xbox store. So it was on sale, sir. Okay. We then got treated to 3 back-to-back launch exclusive titles. The first of which, Black Desert, which was an MMO. Looked interesting. I think that was the one that I first thought that it kind of looked like Dragon Age, kind of a medieval thing going on with that, kind of a Monster Hunter vibe. It looks great. Again, I will pass on it. I just don't have the time to dedicate to an MMO. Sean, what say you?
I think it looked awesome. And like it in the most nerdy way possible. I don't know what it was. Like as soon as they started showing some of the wizardry and stuff, I want to know more. And I think I think they did a really nice job of that overall, of presenting a bunch of games. They didn't really need to go too far into it. I want to know more about this game. I'm going to be actively looking into it.
Nice. Josh.
It looks great. I just don't have the time. I would love to. I would love to humor playing it, but the same with Elder Scrolls. Like I wanted to play it, and I just don't have the time. And especially if I'm gonna jump onto Destiny 2, that's my time.
Yep.
So I can't do something like that. But it looks great.
Donnie.
Did they have a release date or year for this? I imagine this was 2018 too.
Probably 2018, but I didn't know if they had a year.
I don't even think they did, actually. I think it was just like this game's coming. I thought it looked cool. I got your Dragon Age impressions while you were talking about it. I was kind of going in like Ninja Gaiden, like Bayonetta type of thing, like button masher, beat 'em up. Like I was kind of really enjoying watching the combat. I thought it looked cool until they said it was MMO.
Yeah.
And I've never played one. So maybe that'll be the one for me. Like I was all kind of into it until they said that, because of what Josh said. It just seems like when you say MMO, I just think that's a certain amount of investment that I don't know I'm willing to make, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I remain open to that game. I thought it looked cool for sure, and it was a good looking game.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the next launch exclusive, The Last Night. Donnie, let's circle back to you.
That's the 8-bit one, right?
Yes.
It was all like pixely voxels. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like neon, like cyberpunk 8-bit, but 4K.
Blade Runner kind of vibe.
Yeah. That looked awesome. That literally in style alone, that's probably worth at least keeping your eye on.
Yeah.
Just in style and presentation. I have no idea what that game is or how it played. From recollection of what I'm trying to remember, all I remember is that the style looked awesome. So.
Mm-hmm. A good impression, definitely. And like you said, I'll keep my eye on it. Depending on length, might check it out again on sale. Likely not a day one, but I do think that this has some merit to checking out eventually. Josh?
Same. It reminds me of a Flashback or Another World. Like it looks really cool, but we'll see what the price is.
Sean?
I think Xbox does a really nice job of presenting new games you've never seen before. It's very stylized, and all you want to do is learn more about it. This is one of those games. It reminds me of Limbo and Inside, in that like I just want to know more. And it's that 2D kind of like very accessible type of game. I think that I like that this is a part of the stable of games you find on Xbox. I can't wait to play this. Looks awesome.
Yep. Sounds good. And next, launch exclusive game. I think this is Donnie's jam.
Steals the show. Absolutely.
I think he's in this game. I think the main character is Donnie. So let's just toss it to you, man. What's this game about?
I have no idea. That game looks like an acid trip. The best acid trip you could possibly hope for. I loved it. 80s colors, pinks and purples, guitar jams, pixelation explosions. I'm all for it. That looked incredible. Xbox needs more side scrollers, and you have to love the Xbox One launch exclusive coming when it's damn ready, right? None of those delays and whatnot. You're like, we'll let you know when it's coming. Don't worry about it. Just know that it's here and it'll come eventually. And that was cool. I like the forthrightness. Like I kind of wish, and I feel like indies do this a lot. Like when you talk to indie studios, they're more forthright with you. They're more truthful. Like they're like, when's the game coming? They're like, we don't know. We're still working on it. We have no idea, right? But you get to E3 and everybody puts on suits and everybody gets all stuffy. And it's like, well, it's 2018. It's like it's video games. Damn, just be a video gamer for once and just let people know. Like we're constantly working on it. We're trying to make it better. We don't know if it's going to be this year or next year or any year. We don't know. Like we're just working on it, and this is what we have to show you so far. But as somebody that needs more platformers on Xbox and PlayStation for that matter, you were absolutely right in your assessment on the live stream. I was smitten by that game. I was like, yes, I need to play that game. If that was Scorpio only game, I might buy one because I thought it looked super awesome.
Nice. Josh, what do you say?
I think it's cool. I'm not at the Donnie level, so we'll just leave it at. As soon as that guitar was busted out, I thought it went from interesting to like I want to play this. So I'm on board. It looks really cool. I like how. I'm not saying just Microsoft does it, but I like how games like these get featured on Microsoft. It's like almost like one of the ID games. Like it's very indie feeling, and I like it. So I'm interested to check more of it out.
Yep, and I echo your thoughts. So I pass it to Sean.
I'm the same. Like, what is this? Like, it's just, where did it come from, and who thought of this, and how much drugs do they take, and how do I get some? Like, let me in on whatever is happening over there. Like, this looks awesome. I was just jumping up and down because it just kept escalating. You're kind of like, oh, this is cool, and then it goes to another level, and then there's fight, like you said. Like, it just kept getting better, and the journey that I took in that short, whatever it was, 1 minute reel was so special. I just loved it. I can't wait for more.
Yeah, definitely interested to see when this game is released. Donnie's review, because I know he'll be reviewing it like right up there. So it'll be great. Moving on to Code Vein. So, Josh, tell me, what do you think about this game?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It's I don't know if they showed enough for me to get excited about it. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say about it. To be totally brutally honest, it didn't grab me. I don't know. It's one of those games. There was a few games in the conference that I kind of just, the second I saw them, lost total interest in it, and this just happened to be one of them.
Yeah.
No offense to the people who are making the game. It's just not something that I want to put any time into.
Yeah, same with me. That's my thoughts. John?
This looked cool, and I think this was trying to check off the box of having Japanese games on the Xbox, and it is unfortunate that it sort of gets this meh sort of response. And I'm interested. Like I want to learn more about it. I don't think we got a date on it, but it was cool that Xbox landed this world reveal or world premiere. But yeah, it's just a matter of when it comes out and what else is coming out around it. But I enjoy those sort of like weird, like super Japanese experiences.
Mm-hmm. And Donnie, any final thoughts on Code Vein?
Well, for somebody who likes Japanese RPGs, or at least I think I do, mostly. I say that, and I wasn't a huge fan of Persona 5, but I was just playing it coming off of Zelda. But I mean, I like Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I play Fire Emblem, things like that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm all about those games. It's cool. I thought it was good. You said it checks a box, and that's great. I mean, but it fills a void that the Xbox doesn't have. And there may not be a lot of gamers like me out there that are willing to buy this, especially here in the States, but there are. And you can't sell boxes to those people if you don't have them at all. So if Nintendo and Sony are getting all of them and you're getting none of them, then that limits you. That limits your appeal. So I'm happy to see that it's announced. I don't know enough about it to tell you if I would buy it or not. But I definitely, I mean, it's another 2018 game, right? So again, getting back to this, Nathan, the moment that they say 2018, I just stop. I'm like, all right, well, I'll figure this out later. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Do you
not
think
really.
do you think they took the cue from Sony that like that seems to be okay and people are totally fine and Sony somehow is managing to say things are coming away in the future and people are buying now? I don't know how that works, but
I really hope not, because I feel like come this time tomorrow, or like a little bit later than this time tomorrow, I feel like Sony is going to have a lot of 2017 games.
flip the script on it, right? And all of a sudden that matters.
Exactly right. It's like a huge counterpunch. It's like,
they can't catch a break. They've been talking about the same year every year until this year.
Exactly.
God.
And Xbox is all like, we've got this super powerful console, and here's 50 games that are coming in next year. And the Xbox and the PlayStation comes out and go, why are you worried about that? Here's 50 games coming out now.
Dang it. Oh, man. But it's the console's coming out at the end of the year. So it's just a numbers thing that's really like, is it really that far off from when you get the Scorpio? But I think it's perception is reality.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And, you know, it's not Code Vein's fault. So getting back to Code Vein, I think Code Vein looked cool. Like visually, it looked impressive, and visually, it looked like an awesome Japanese RPG. And I'm down for that. And Nathan, I'm actually kind of surprised that you're not. You were such a huge Final Fantasy 15 fan. You've been you yelled at me about that game so much that I'm considering playing it. Like every now and again, I check the used prices on it. I'm like, Nathan said it was really good. Maybe I'm missing out on something.
I mean, it was good. But I definitely get more of a Dark Souls or Blood Vein or whatever it's called vibe from this game, and I don't care about those types of games.
Okay, you're just mixing words that sound like death now. Like coffin rob.
Necro.
All right, let's move on.
I didn't get that much. I didn't get that Dark Soulsy vibe out of it. I remember you said it because I saw like an action. You saw like a person swing a sword, and I think maybe in Dark Souls they swing a sword similarly. But yes. I mean, I saw definitely more of an anime style, and the paint looked like it was faster and like a level up ability. I didn't get that same exact style. Yeah, I don't think it's a Dark clone. Just put it that way. I don't think it's a Souls clone.
Well, we do have Cal OPR who is in, so at least somebody is going to buy this game. That's not me, so it's good, right? Somebody's going to buy it.
Dude, that's Kalo, right? From Twitter?
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Like, it's got to be him, right?
But here's a game, this next one I want to talk about, which is an exclusive again. And I think all of the exclusive games that they announced are cross-play games. Sea of Thieves. I want to play this game. I want to get up with a group of people, with Mo, with Jason, with whoever, out there on the PSVG dumb. And we want to sail the 7 seas, which that water looks fantastic, and go treasure hunting. And just, I look so forward to being able to play this game. It looks so fun. It just exudes joy and fun, and it looks like it is going to play really well. So, Sean, will you play Sea of Thieves with me?
My goodness, yes, finally. I was doing a stream with people who were just making fun of the characters' faces, the modeling. They weren't digging that. But I agree with you. The water looked tremendous, both from like over top and then underneath. And when you look up and the waves are crashing above you, I thought that looked great. I don't know what it is, but lately I am looking for an experience like this. I want to get online. I want to jump onto a game with friends and just kind of like wander around. And I was also glad that they kind of showed a little bit more than just the naval battles, like just the ships and like where your different quests can sort of take you. I think they showed a diverse amount, a nice variety of gameplay with this. So I am in on Sea of Thieves. The final thing that they absolutely need to do is some sort of like what we've seen with Destiny and then with ARMS. Like people need to get their hands on this thing. I think it's going to be more of an experience than anything that they could really show. It's not photorealistic. It's more, it has to, exactly. Destiny. It has to be, I'm talking about Jace in the comments there. we need to get our hands on it. So that's all that remains for me, but I'm pumped, and I hope that there's other people around there that want to play this as well. Josh, will you walk the plank?
I find the game very intriguing and interesting. I might be stealing this from Donnie a little bit because I saw it in the chat while we were watching it. It's one of those games where I'm worried that I can't play it without 3 other people, and those games are hard for me to purchase now, especially if it's going to be a $60 game. Like I played The Division single player because there was just nobody playing. and that game is meant to be played cooperatively. Same with Destiny. When you can't find a group, it's just kind of a chore game, and I don't know if Sea of Thieves is really a game you can play by yourself, so we'll see. But it looks awesome. I mean, I love the art style. When they jumped off the plank and you went underwater and you got to see that you could interact underwater, and that was its own mission, I thought that was great. And yeah, I'm glad they got away from just showing the ship combat, which is what we've seen for the past year. So I think it looks great, and once we get some more info on players and how it's going to work, put me on the fence, because I want to play it.
Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to it. I think they should put it out as like a game preview title. I think that'd be a good idea. But Donnie, give me your thoughts.
Or at least like a weekend demo or a beta for everybody, right?
Mhm.
Just give people a chance to try it. It might run into that ARMS thing where people play it and they're like, "Oh, this is cool, and we're gonna buy it now." All right, Sea of Thieves. First note, 2018. Yeah, there's another one. So
Early 2018, so it could be January.
dude, that could mean like April. That could be like a year from now.
Where would you put it if not 2018? Like where should that land?
This fall. Early this fall.
You think
September.
that stands up next to Destiny and Call of Duty and everything? Like I feel like it, like in the fall it gets buried or
Yeah.
But they have to
drowned.
have something, right?
Yeah.
They have to have something.
But I
They
feel like
have
well they have Destiny, they've got Call of Duty. That's what I'm saying. It gets buried amongst all the other things.
All right. Let's not get into the beta lineups. All right. Back to the topic at hand. Sea of Thieves. Okay. So when I first saw this game years ago, I was really interested because Wind Waker is my favorite game of all time, and this does have like a Wind Waker vibe, right? You're this cartoony little character floating around this pirate ship. That's cool. I'm in. The game looks gorgeous. So visually, presentations looks amazing. Up until this point, I just thought that you had to like have 10 different positions just to sail a ship, and I was like, that sounds awful. And it was great, Sean, as you presented, that there's some gun play and there's like some exploring. You can jump into the sea. That's neat. Like you can walk around and do some stuff. What I still haven't found is what Josh said. Can I play this game by myself?
Yeah.
Like, just can I play it? Not is it the best way to play it, but can I play it by myself? Or do I have to have friends to play? Do I have to? And if it's this online persistent world where everybody jumps in, any of you play like Battlefield 1943?
Yeah.
360?
Mm-hmm.
It was like the same thing, right? And just everybody's running around like nuts. Like you drop into the world, you see like 10 people run across. Like I'm worried about what happens when you put this out to millions. What does the game look like then? Like when you log in then, is it just like ships crashing into the sky? Because there's a certain trolling probably is not the best word, but there's a certain game ability that gamers take to a game like this where they just do like dumb stuff just to do it, right? So they're falling out of skies, they're just shooting people from the tops of cliffs. Like I worry about the balance of a game like this. Like could it be like you get in and you try to play it and then like let's just say there's like 20 people that are like tight knit together and they're just awesome, they just like beat you up and take all your stuff. Like it's not fun. I still need to know more about the motivation of the game. Like, is there a campaign? Is there a story? Is there an adventure? Is there something driving me to want to jump online with my friends and sail the blue seas? Like, it's cool that you can do it. I agree with you. It's cool that you can do it. But the question is, why am I doing it? What makes me want to do it? Outside of just talking to Sean Capri late at night while we just kind of check out some awesome water physics. Like, for me, I wanted a little bit more, but knowing that it's 2018, I still feel like that window's still open. But for me, I was really kind of hoping, because I know that's been in beta for a long time. Coach Mo's in it; he's been playing it. I kind of wanted to like a blowout for CSEs. Like, here's this entire game. Here's why you care. I still don't know if I have that. It's cool you can swim around with sharks. I kind of expected that to begin with. Like, it's a pirate game. So I think like every pirate game since the dawn of pirate games, you can swim around for treasure and sharks. Like I got that when you first showed it to me. So I wasn't overly impressed.
And there you have it. So let's move on to the next launch exclusive, which I'm not going to spend any time on personally because we've known of it. This wasn't a reveal. And that is Tacoma. So Donnie, have anything to say about Tacoma?
Sorry. Tacoma looks great. Yeah, I mean, I've known about the game for a while. I think it looks great. It's cool that they have a timed exclusivity on it. I think it's a cool little indie game. If it plays like the other games from the developers, it'd be a really fun weekend. You jump in, learn the story, walk around, talk to the people, piece the puzzles together, and I feel at this point that style of game has been done enough, like in the last 3 years, that it doesn't feel new anymore. But that doesn't mean that they still can't tell you an awesome story experience that's worth having. So yeah, I remain to be open to playing it. And if it comes, so it's timed exclusive coming to Xbox as a launch exclusive. If that exclusivity is anything like Inside's was, more than a month, then I'm playing Tacoma on Xbox, and it's a great game.
Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Cuphead. Like, give me the game already. I've known about it for a while.
Yeah.
We don't need to. I don't think I need to spend any more time on it. It looks good. I've heard great things, but I just want to get it in my hands.
Sean?
The expectations for this game are massive because of who's making it, and also because of how long we've known about it. And that's really unfortunate. I think that this is setting itself up for a little bit of disappointment. With that said, I can't wait to see what they do. I want to see this genre taken to another level, because I think that I actually don't, in my opinion, I don't know that there's anything that's done it better than Gone Home. So it'll be interesting to see if they can elevate the game once again.
Mm-hmm. All right. And this one, I believe, is a full-blown exclusive once again. Super Lucky's Tale, which Lucky's Tale was on Oculus when it first launched? Yeah. Okay. Oculus. So this looked like it was a family-friendly game. I think that it looked really good as far as showing it. I don't know if this is going to be for me, but, Donnie, as someone with kids, what do you think about this game? What did your kids think when they saw it?
So this is the perfect time to come back with a compliment sandwich for Sea of Thieves. When this showed up, when they were showing on stage the fox running around, am I the only one that was like, Conquer?
Conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Conquer. Oh my God, Conquer. And then they showed the fox, and I was like, oh, I'm not interested. But my kids were play fighting in front of the TV right out here, and they stopped. They stopped play fighting. They were looking at the TV for about 30 seconds, and they went back to play fighting, which kind of sums up that game. Like they weren't interested. So at the end of the conference, though, again, to come back to the compliment sandwich, I asked them, I said, hey, did you like the show? Do you want to buy these Xbox games? And they said, I want to buy the pirate one. So while Sea of Thieves may have not stuck with me, both of my kids seem to think Sea of Thieves is the bee's knees. They liked it way more than platformers, which is what they're usually accustomed to. And, my daughter, for instance, she loves Max. She beat the Max game on Xbox One. So they're looking forward to Sea of Thieves, and none of us really thought Super Lucky's Tale looked all that impressive.
Donnie, that is an amazing opinion, but I also want to hear what Josh thinks.
I think it's not for me, but I think it's great that it's on the Xbox. Like, we need more platformers. I think Donnie said that earlier. I'm glad to see it. I reviewed that game Ginger, the Last Crystal, earlier this year, and it's very similar to that. It looks a little bit more polished. So yeah, I mean, I won't play it, but I'm glad it's available. And I think Xbox should have more younger audience friendly games. I think this is a great opening for that.
Sean.
Yeah, similar to Code Vein, this is checking off a box more than anything. This is, when you think about them sitting around in a boardroom, they go like, what games do we have and what are our gaps? This is a gap that they identify, and it fills it a little bit. I don't think that there's anything more noteworthy about it other than that. It's super cute, it looks great, but I mean, it's not why I have an Xbox.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why you have an Xbox is this next game, I'm sure.
Yes, it is.
Coming in 2017, Donnie, is...
There we go. That's the third time you've said that so far, so...
Well, it's the third time I've...
Wait till the PlayStation conference. I hope you don't have to change your tone, young man.
All right, so let's talk about Cuphead. We've already talked about it before, but looked great again. We finally got a date. That's all I have to say about it. But Sean, what do you think?
I don't know what to think about this game. I've been on a roller coaster with this. I need to try it. I'm worried that the development cycle has been troubling for them, but it'll be cool. It has a chance to be like a really unique title on Xbox that if it nails it, we'll likely not get enough credit for nailing it, and if it doesn't, it'll be crucified for it. So it's just I hate to be negative about it, but I really hope that they've nailed it and that it's really good and that everybody gets really excited about it. Obviously, that's what I hope for every game, but more notably about this, I'm excited we got a date, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to trying this.
Josh, anything to say?
No, I've been waiting for Cuphead for 3 years now, 2 years. Who knows? Well, I lost count. I agree with Sean. I think that it's been so long that it's almost like a lose-lose for them. They need to get the game out in our hands, and I think even September's too long. It should be next month, but I just have to wait longer, and I hope it doesn't get delayed. I'm excited to play it, but yeah, it has that like Last Guardian vibe to it to me. I know it's a different level of game than Last Guardian, but you know, I don't think that the hype that a Xbox arcade game title has had for me has lasted as many years as this game has. So I'm just frustrated with it.
Speaking of frustration, speaking of frustration, let's go to Donnie.
Dude, I'm super stoked for Cuphead.
For your frustration with everything else.
I mean, Cuphead's an absolute buy, right? Nathan, you're over here talking about you'll buy every game in this lineup at $5. Cuphead is $20. Like, that's an absolute buy, even if it doesn't hit on that promise. And that promise was great. And I'm like Sean, I worry that we're in an Unravel situation here, where they showed something and everybody was like, "Oh, that looks amazing and innovative," and then it comes out and it's like maybe it doesn't hit all the notes you kind of had in your little head when you saw it at first time. Maybe it's not that. But you know what? At $20, it didn't have to be that. At $20, you can play it. You play it for a couple hours, and if it's not that great, you can put it down and you don't feel all bad. But if it's awesome at $20, and that's a game you tell all your friends about, and that's a system seller, and that's a great exclusive. It's got a great look and style to it. My kids were into it. I'm into it. Like, that's something my wife would watch me play. Like, yeah, until all the reviews come out and tell me how bad it is, I'm buying Cuphead.
All right. The thing that Cuphead was missing was Terry Crews selling it to me. And Terry Crews was selling me Crackdown 3. That was an amazing way to open that trailer or montage or whatever you want to call it. I had a ton of fun watching that and just going right into the game. Crackdown 3 looks great. It's coming out this year, 2017, Donnie. As a launch. What? Shut up. Donnie. Not Donnie. Josh, you said that on your predictions podcast, you had someone that said this is going to come out with Scorpio, Xbox One X. That is true. So give me your thoughts about Crackdown 3.
I loved Crackdown 1 especially. I actually really liked Crackdown 2. I think it's an underrated game. I can't wait for it. I wish they showed a little bit more gameplay than just like the sizzle reel trailer, because like we kind of had a little bit of an idea of what Crackdown 3 is going to look like. I kind of want to see the gameplay. But one of the things I really enjoyed a lot about Crackdown 2 was you can play your own game, but you can also interact with everybody else in your game world. And then you can go play 2-player co-op missions, or you can go play like their equivalent of like how Grand Theft Auto used to have like death matches on piers randomly because there's like 7 guys shooting each other with bazookas. I really like the aspect of that game, and in the leveling up and how that you have the control of your character and how you level them up. So I hope they streamline a few things like going back and forth between like the police headquarters, which is kind of a chore in the last 2 games. But I dig it. I like the cell shaded art, looks great. And yeah, just get me the game. I want it in my hands, and it'll be a buy for me on the day it comes out. Nice. Not on Xbox One X because I won't. But I'll have it on my Xbox One.
Sounds good. And I totally meant to say, Sean, I'm sorry. I'm getting old. I can't remember things as well as I used to. But Sean, give me your thoughts.
Well, you don't have to apologize. what a swing this game has taken for me personally. I've been very vocal lately about, I think Nathan, you and I feel like we've talked about this, about like what games and what the Xbox exclusives that they've got, like they just don't match up with PlayStation. I feel like the quality of like an Uncharted just totally eclipses the things that Xbox has to offer for the most part. But all of a sudden, and the example Xbox fans would use is like, but we're getting Crackdown, and I'd go like, really? Like that doesn't sound all that great to me. It's just like, it's an exclusive and it's cool, but it's not like that A++ title that Xbox needs. And then all of a sudden you throw Terry Crews at the beginning of this thing, and I am pumped. This thing looks so self-aware and so cool. They didn't talk about it being powered by the cloud. I am all in on Crackdown. This looks awesome. And I was not excited. I was sort of like putting people down. Like, this is not going to save the Xbox. And this, I couldn't be more hyped in this moment. I feel like that is the true sign of a great trailer, a great way of reintroducing fans to a series that has been around for a little while. This was in my books, this was a huge moment of the conference.
Hey, shout out to the chat real quick, because Kyle's on there. When we were starting to do our live feed, that was one of the questions we got. Kyle said, do you think that Crackdown is a launch title? And both Nathan and I talked back and forth, and I told him I thought it would launch on Scorpio or X, but I didn't know if necessarily it was going to be like a console exclusive or just an announce that it'll be out on the same day as the Scorpio or Xbox One X. So I think that kind of got overshadowed. They didn't really hype that up a lot, being like, this is the same day as the X.
Yeah.
This is going to look so much better on the X. They didn't really hype that up. They kind of just, dropped the trailer and just kind of left it at that.
Yeah. I think it's them trying to figure out how do we talk about this next generation without really calling it a next generation. Like it is, but it isn't. So that's that weird balance that they have to walk.
Yeah, they have to decide if they want to own that or not, because that's a big thing. Like they need to either say this is our next gen or it's not. I don't like how they're sitting on the middle on this. Same with the PS Pro. Like it's just like limbo. Like where are we right now in our console generation?
I think this is the new console space, but that's a whole other
that's
conversation.
what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that Crackdown 3 looks great. I'll be getting it. I don't know if it's going to be day one, but I like it. Donnie, Crackdown 3.
Well, as much as I fantasize about arguing with Sean Capri, he's literally said everything that I thought about it, just a basically exact same way that I would say it. I've been yelling at Nathan all summer about how Crackdown 3 doesn't stack up to the first-party games from other studios. And
welcome to the dark side.
That trailer looked freaking awesome. I'm going to play Crackdown. Like you, Nathan, I don't know if I'm going to play it day one. It's going to depend largely on what other games, especially third-party games, are coming out of that window. But it comes out before Black Friday. And if it gets discounted on Black Friday, then I'm definitely going to be playing Crackdown before Christmas because it just looked great. I know it doesn't have zombies, so I'm not trying to make that point, but did anybody play last year's Call of Duty zombie mode with like all the 80s flair and like the cel-shaded stuff and like the theme park and all that? Mm-hmm. It totally kind of reminded me of that, and I loved it, and I could use more of that and to throw some lasers in there and junk. Yeah, I'm all in. I mean, it looked a lot of fun. It's like Infamous, the cel-shaded 80s shooter. You're just like leaping over buildings and like shooting laser guns. I mean, it looked great. It was a great. That's probably the one game that I came in here going, I don't care what they show me, I'm not going to buy. And then I left going, yep, I got to buy that game.
Nice. All right. So next they had a montage of ID at Xbox games, and I'm just going to rattle through them, and I'll throw it to each of you if you want to comment on anything that you know about this game or that you want to say about what you saw. And I may have gotten the titles, wrong as I was trying to furiously type them as they went on the screen. However, Osiris, Raiders, Unruly, Path of Exile, Battle Right, or something like that, Surviving Mars, Fable Fortune, Observer, Robocraft, Dunk Lords with a Z, because, it's always better with a Z. Minion Masters, Brawlout, which looked kind of like Smash Brothers in a way, but I don't know. We'll have to see what that does when it comes out. Ooblitz, Dark and Light, Strange Brigade, Riverbound, Hello Neighbor, Shift, Conan Exiles. Anybody want to say anything about those? Let's throw it to you, Donnie.
Ooblets caught my daughter's attention. That was like the one with the girls walking with like the little Korok looking things next to her and whatnot. I have no idea what the game is about or how it plays or anything, but just the trailer alone caught my daughter's attention. So I'll keep my eyes on it. I'm down for any arcade sports game. So Super Dunks or whatever it was called, like, yep, I'll pay attention to that. And if it's good, I'll buy it and play it. Because I always needed arcadey basketball games, for sure. There was another game in there that I liked. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the first 4 or 5. From even by the name, I don't remember what it was, but I remember when I was watching, I was like, "That is pretty neat." It caught my attention. And then the most upsetting thing in that little rundown is absolutely Fable. Like I'm happy to see the word Fable. To know that the next Fable game is a card game sucks.
That was announced a while ago, though.
I don't care. Like I wanted Fable Legends to come back. I wanted an announcement that Fable was coming back. I wanted free Fable, just anything Fable, and we got a card game. So fantastic. That's great.
Josh, what do you think?
I won't take up too much time on it. I think 90% of those games looked awesome and cool and stuff I want to check out. Same thing they do every year with their sizzle reel for ID games. Like, you kind of just have to wait until they release to kind of get more info on them. And if you're like me, you'll do the same thing. The day they come out, I'll turn on my Xbox and I'll see what's streaming and see what the game looks like. And if it looks good, I'll check it out. But they almost all looked good to me, if not interesting, to say the least.
And Sean.
Yeah, I don't. As we get through more and more of these conferences, we know that this sizzle reel is going to come, and I just wish that there was something a little bit more translatable about them. I wish that, like, maybe within the Xbox store there was like, remember that E3 sizzle reel? Like, here are the games in like this nice little collection, whether they're out now or later. Just tack them onto like a wish list. Like, I want to have a way to keep track of these games because, like you guys are saying, I think they all look really cool, but I can't tell you any of them. Like Conan, because like I know Conan, Conan. I say anyway. I just wish there was something more to do with them. Like they fill space, and I think that there's more can be done with them. This is more of a general comment on the sizzle reel than any of the games, but
I agree. All right, so let's go forward. Launch exclusive Ashen, and I can't remember what this was about. So can any of you, Donnie?
It was that like fighting giants
no
caverns game. They didn't have eyes and it's kind of like big.
Yeah.
I got like it didn't look like it played anything like inside, but like stylistically it kind of looked like inside, and it was okay. It was cool. I mean, I wasn't sold on by the trailer alone. I need to know a lot more about the game, but yeah, I just kind of passed over it.
Yep, I echo you, Donnie. How about you, Sean?
I actually said out loud, this is a great trailer, but that's about it. I don't know anything about it really in terms of like the gameplay, but I think it looks cool. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. I feel like I've seen that name before, and I can't place. Like, was it at E3 last year? Or is that Gamescom or something?
It was at a previous conference because I saw a trailer like that before.
Yeah, so I'll keep my eye out, but no date and whatever. We'll see.
Josh, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean the animation style is awesome. It reminds me of, I don't know if you ever watched the. Well, I'm sure you have. In the Harry Potter movies where they tell that story of like the 3 brothers or whatever it's called, that's like the same animation style, which I think is really cool. It's almost like paper mache come to life, or like almost like Kubo style. So I really like the animation style, and I'm interested to see. The combat looks pretty cool in the trailer, so keep my eye on that one. It looks like a potential buy.
All right. Coming in the home stretch here, guys. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I have played just a few minutes of Life is Strange. I need to actually go back and finish it at some point. But for me, nothing done for me for this trailer. I just know there's more to come of this game. So, Josh, what do you think?
I didn't play the first one, so I've heard good things. And I'll be honest with you. I think was it PlayStation Plus game?
I think it probably has been.
I own one of the consoles, so I'm going to play it now. It gives me a little bit, since it's a prequel, kind of gives me a motivation to kind of play it, so I get that cool backstory after I play through the game. So we'll check it out. I like the episodic games, but originally just the concept of it didn't grab me. Like I didn't find it just looked like angsty teen girls going through stuff. So we'll see. But the trailer was fine. Didn't blow me away, but it got me a little bit interested in the game.
Sean?
Yeah, I didn't get into the original until much later. It was on sale, and it did win me over. I'm surprised to see it available so soon. I feel like they were talking about the first 3 episodes coming pretty quickly here.
It's just 3 episodes, though. There's only going to be 3 episodes.
Oh, period. Oh, okay. I actually didn't
it's
pick
3
up
parts
on that. Okay, so instead of 5, it looked way better than the first one. Like visually, it obviously looks like they've taken advantage of the sales of the first one, and I never know what to make of a prequel. So I don't like they say a name in there that means a lot to people who play the game. But other than that, I'm a wait and see. This is not something that I absolutely need to play right away, but I will eventually play that. I will pledge to play Life is Strange Before the Storm.
And Donnie.
All right, I've said this a few times, so I'll try to keep it short, but I absolutely adored Life is Strange, the first one that came out, through the first 2 episodes. And at the time, I was kind of co-reviewing it with Ed Placencia over at Married to the Game, so we were kind of playing it together. And through the first 2 episodes, I mean, I was ready to give it like a 10 out of 10. I was ready to tell you it's the greatest game ever. It hit so much like nostalgia, like 90s, like this grungy, angsty teenager, like you were kind of dealing with drugs and like pointless, dumb relationships and music. And the music in that series was great, and the art style was fantastic, and I loved it. I thought it was so good. And then like episodes 3 and 4 and 5 happened, and it kind of just dropped off. It got like really stereotypical and like kind of dumb, and I was just like, it really fell off for me. And at one point I even had a canvas made and like hung it up on the wall over here just to tell you how like much I was into it. Like I really love those characters. So I'll tell you this, I will try the game, especially if it's episodic, like like they normally are. If I can buy the first one, I will buy the first one and give it a go. And if it hits like the first one did the last time, I will keep playing it. But I wasn't a huge fan of the complete game the first time around, so I'm a little hesitant on it. But I will give it a try. Because I enjoyed those first 2 episodes so much when it was more grounded. It felt more real. Like even with the sci-fi stuff and rewinding time, the concept and the lesson, everything that was there was realistic and it was grounded, and it felt like something a teenager in 1996 would be going through, and then it just kind of drove off a cliff. So I'm hoping that maybe with the prequel, before the girl's disappearance and all that, maybe it goes back to that, and maybe you get more of that, because I was really into it. I thought it was really cool.
You know what I was really into and I thought was really cool? Shadow of Mordor. And you know what else was really cool? Shadow of War, what they showed on the Xbox stage. Obviously, the Nemesis system was being showcased off here. It's going to make a triumphant return with Shadow of War. So I'm in. I don't know when I'll play it because this fall is full. But it definitely looks like it's going to be enhanced on Scorpio. So, Sean, what do you think about Shadow of War?
Going into this, I was pumped, and I was actually let down by the way that it looked. I was expecting it to look really stunning, and I think that it looked kind of washed out, and the animations weren't really that terrific. So I think when I get my hands on it, I think it'll actually play the way that I want it to, but I was actually a little disappointed in the way that it was shown today. It was given a ton of time. This is obviously a massive title in the lineup that we can expect to play, and I'm not sure Donnie feels. I feel like you got it. Like you're either agreeing with me or you're totally disagreeing. Yeah, you're okay. So I can't really say too much more than that. I think that it's gonna play better than it showed. I'll wrap it up with that.
Donnie, I feel like you're echoing his thoughts. So what do you say?
Absolutely not. I'm so excited when I get to disagree with Sean. I couldn't disagree with you more, buddy. When I played the first one, like I totally got like the Arkham combat style. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
The environments though in the first one I thought were like just dreary and repetitive, and it was a lot of like brown and gray and purple everywhere. Everything was a gray brick or brown ground, and it was just like the same thing over and over and over again. And in this one, what did we have? Colors. Just colors. Green colors and white colors and yellow colors and sunshine and grass. So from just from a style, I was way more interested than I was before. So like when they announced this game, it was almost like 3 or 4 months ago, right? It was IGN first and all that. When they announced this game, I was like, that's a pass. Like it's cool. It's got the Nemesis system. I remember the Cometh. That's cool. But I didn't like the first one really stylistically. I just didn't want to spend 30 hours in that dreary world. Like it was just too much of it, the same for me. So seeing this one, I kind of felt like it was new. I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's something, it's different. It's a different take. So they're taking the awesome combat that I liked, this awesome system that they built, and they're adding all of this new stuff that wasn't there before. And that one kind of won me over. So I am way more open to it than I was before today. Josh, are you open to it?
It's such a creepy question. You know,
it really wasn't.
I thought the humor, well, in my head it was. I thought the humor was awesome. I really liked, I liked Bruce. I thought it was great interactions. I kind of see where Sean's saying a little bit on the actual gameplay footage looked a little like the last one. So I don't think it jumped leaps and bounds. But I'm so intrigued by the Nemesis system that I think that I'll play this game no matter what. It's just something that needs to be fostered by the gaming community because it's so unique, and it should be in more games. So I think I kind of have to play it as a gamer. Like I feel obligated to.
Well, you don't have to, but you should.
Well, I have to do. I'm gonna do it.
The final exclusive of the conference that they talked about. I feel like I'm going to just... Donnie, take it away. Take this one away, sir.
Ori! Ori's getting a sequel! You guys have got to give Ori more love, man. For Xbox gamers, that's like your exclusive, man. That is up there. In my mind, top 3 Xbox One game. Absolutely. If Ori and the Blind Forest was on PlayStation 3, there would be 5 million more people shouting from the mountaintops about that game because it kind of fits in that wheelhouse with the games that they've had for the last few years, whereas Xbox didn't really have all these, like a bunch of them. So that's why Ori stands out so much, because it's on Xbox and it's like a sore thumb. It's like, where did this game come from? It's gorgeous. The soundtrack is incredible, and they had the dude playing piano. And it's like, if you've never listened to the Ori and the Blind Forest just soundtrack, just go to the first one, just YouTube it, and just listen to it while you're at work tomorrow. It's beautiful. It is some of the best, beautiful, gorgeous video game music you can ever find. And then you find all these visuals on top of a platformer that's also really hard, but controls perfectly. That's the thing. Like, I didn't beat Ori because I couldn't. At this point, I just couldn't beat it. And I just got fed up and I moved on. And that was okay, because I never, at one point, did I feel like it was unfair. I just felt like I wasn't good enough. And I'm sure if I sat there and I kept doing it, I would get it done, because that game, I mean, it controlled expertly. And I'm not really into Metroidvanias, which is kind of what Ori, that's basically what Ori is, like a Metroid game, but it's like super pretty. And I hate Super Metroid. That's like the one Nintendo game that everybody hates me for hating, but I'm not into Super Metroid, but I love Ori. This is a must-have, must-buy. The only thing that really sucks is we have no idea when it's coming. We don't even know if it's coming in 2018. They didn't say anything. We don't know. Just Ori, this new Ori game exists. Go back, forth, and enjoy Crackdown. So,
all right. So the title of this game is Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and of course, we have Donnie's thoughts on it. I think it looks fantastic. I'd never beat the original Ori. I got to a point where something else just came along, and I always intended to go back. Had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a great game. Really frustrating at times, but super pretty, sounds great, impactful story. And you can tell from the trailer that this one's going to have another story that's along the lines of the original Ori. So, Josh, before we throw it to Sean, Josh, what do you think?
So I didn't play the first one, but I bought it this morning. I had a $3 Xbox credit that was expiring, and it was on sale for $10, so I picked it up for $7 today. It's a game I always wanted to play. I just, for whatever reason, never got it, but I've always heard great things about it. So it looks super depressing and sad and terrible, but in a good way. So I'm gonna play it tomorrow, and I think that will get me hyped for the sequel.
Sean.
You're in for a treat. I am so glad you picked up that game. Absolutely. I'm right with Donnie. And when they started playing with the piano at the start, I'm like, only a couple of games would be given this sort of treatment. And I thought maybe at first we might start to see a Halo game. And just before they showed the gameplay up on the screen, I'm like, or Ori. And then they showed it, and I was so over the moon. This should be one of the flagships. This is something that Xbox should really like prop up even more. I'm so glad that we're getting another one. This is top 5 definitely in the Xbox lineup. So I'm pumped. This is an absolute day one. Everybody must play the original. This is A+.
Fantastic. Okay, so we have one more game that they ended the conference with, and that was Anthem, announced yesterday at the E3 EA, rather. I keep saying EA, or dang it, I keep getting those two confused. The EA conference yesterday, and it was going to have more information today. This game looks fantastic. It is from BioWare, and this is the quote-unquote Destiny killer, which it's a tall tale, or a tall order, rather.
Nobody's quoting that.
What do you mean, quote? Yeah, I've heard Destiny killer. Every time that I've heard of this Bungie game, that it was supposed to be a quote-unquote Destiny killer. Mm. That's always the synonymous that I associate with it. So anyway, that's how I've received the game.
Gotcha.
And I obviously, as a Destiny player, as a person who has pre-ordered Destiny 2, am probably committed to that. But this game looks really great. I want to fly around like Iron Man. I want to just lay waste to things. This game looks fantastic. The facial animations were one thing that just popped out to me. And I mean, I can make the comparisons with another recent BioWare game, but I will not do that.
See, they know how to do it.
But I thought that this game it demoed really well, displayed really well. This was gameplay, obviously probably not from Scorpio, probably from something even more powerful. But this is a reason to buy a Scorpio, to get a game that looks that good. It just looked fantastic. I want to play it. I thought that it was great that you could have friends just kind of join you mid-mission or whatever they did there to get in. I want more information about this game. It's coming 2018, if I'm correct. I think Donnie will be able to tell me if it's 2018 or not, but I'm not sure. And I want to play it. It looks great. I'm intrigued. I'm interested, and I want to find out more. So I'm going to throw it right to you, Donnie. What did you think about Anthem?
So yesterday, when EA kind of teased it, I saw a lot of headlines and stuff that said early 2018, and then today they just said 2018. So we don't know. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet. To back up your quote, I saw COD Connected. I typed in Destiny killer, Bing News, most recent. I got one hit. There's one person calling it a Destiny killer, so I'll give you that one, Nathan. Good job.
I guess I'm the second person, but I've heard it. Like Devin,
I'm sure there's spreading it around.
I'm sure there's people with, like, I'm sure it's on Twitter and whatnot. Yeah, I'm sure there's like people on Twitter and stuff for saying it for sure. I think it looks great, and I don't play Destiny. I played the beta. I didn't like it. I never played it. I never came back to it. Never tried. Anthem looks great. Like if you guys haven't noticed yet, I like a lot of colors, especially when they're vibrant and bright. And like this does that. And then they went down in the water and they came back out, and then they hooked up with other people. So it makes me feel like I can play it by myself or with friends. I don't have to have friends if I don't want to, or if they leave me and go on to other things. I'll be your
friend, Donnie.
I can keep playing. It's not that we don't have friends, right? It's like the Sea of Thieves things. We have each other and we can play with each other. But my question is, because we have a podcast, because we have a blog, we're constantly trying to stay up to date. So like my question is like, what if you move on to other things? Am I just left alone with this game that I can't play anymore? Aww. So far, this trailer made me at least believe, and now there's a lot to be known, but the trailer made me believe that I could play it alone if I wanted to, or I could play it with friends. And that is a huge seller for me. That's my problem with Ghost Recon. I have to play it with friends. Like, you have to play it with friends. Like, there's no reason not to. Like with this game, I totally go shoot dinosaur monsters by myself. I do that in Xenoblade and Horizon all the time. Sure, I'm down with that. And if my friends want to come join me, absolutely. It's like Forza. I love Forza Horizon. I can go race all day by myself. Don't need you guys at all. But if you guys get together one Friday night and I want to jump in, absolutely. Let's do that. Like, I like having that optional multiplayer as opposed to that mandated multiplayer. So with that said, the game looked great. I'm always down for a shooter. It looks massive. It's got all this cool sci-fi stuff in it. Iron Man who can swim, flies through the jungle, shoots guns. Like, absolutely, that looks awesome. I think so far, and we're not even halfway through, but so far, absolutely game of show so far, right? Anthem.
Pretty impressive by my book. I don't know if I'd say game of the show just yet because,
say it.
I'm just saying so far. Like, what is it? FIFA?
Come
like,
on.
It's just like, what else is there?
I don't know. So far, yeah, I would say sure.
Okay.
I would have to think back to EA and what they were doing. But yeah, it was pretty impressive. I'm not sure it was pretty close to, but Josh.
So you want me to talk about Dylan?
Dylan.
After that Kotaku article, I mean, if this game runs on Frostbite, I'm not even buying it.
What?
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Hold on a second.
Wow.
It's
What
a
does that
joke. It's a
mean?
joke. It's just
What
a
does that
joke.
mean?
It's about, if you read the development of how they did Andromeda and what they did with Frostbite and how it basically ruined that game. It was a joke. The game looks great, but let's be honest, it's a pretty trailer. I want to see some gameplay. It's a pretty trailer. The levels looked awesome.
It was
If
gameplay.
it looks that way, no, it was in-engine. It wasn't gameplay.
Just in engine. Okay.
It was in-engine footage. So it's not that wasn't someone. Same thing. Like I said it earlier, I don't want to beat like a dead horse, but like when I see a game being played, that's when I'll get hype. That's when I'll get excited. It looks good. The environments look great. If that's what it looks like when I'm playing the game, this is the game. This will be the game of next year if it looks that good when it comes out. I'm just playing the skeptical old geezer here because there's been so many games we would get excited about, and then when they come out, they don't represent what we're shown at E3. So I'm excited to an extent. I'm keeping my excitement at bay.
His excitement is at bay, Sean. What about yours?
Full disclosure, this game is being created in my backyard. And so there's a little bit of hometown pride coming with this. I think BioWare is the best of the best. They are top 5 developers. They are right up there with Naughty Dogs of the world. And this looks like they are flexing every single muscle, pouring grease all over it and shining in the sun. This Anthem looks amazing. I don't think that we're going to see it anytime soon. You're right, Donnie. Like when we say it started with early 2018, now they say 2018. I will expect it in 2019, and that's okay. I've got plenty of stuff to play until then. But I'm so glad to see them so quickly show everyone what BioWare is so capable of. And I really do think that they had some focus on a close-up conversation to show that they are indeed capable of decent facial animation. So I can't wait. I hope that they go a little dark, actually, now that we've seen it. I don't want to hear anything more until the week before it comes out and tell me that it's available, and that is it. But I'm so pumped. This is also a massive get for Xbox and in all of the big games going over to PlayStation to be on their stage. This definitely was the game of the show. It's BioWare and Xbox have a long and storied history together, and it's nice to see that partnership celebrated. And they got to be the headliner. They got the spotlight. So it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you watched the live stream, you heard me squee like a little girl at one point.
I
scared my babies.
Yeah, you screamed.
You screamed so loud.
You didn't squee. You hurt my eardrums.
So I got a little animated, and I was super excited when they made this announcement. Original backwards compatibility for Xbox games. They had the logo for the original Xbox, the original startup noise and everything appear on the screen. And Phil was there on stage saying it's going to happen. We're bringing this to our people on fall of this year. And the game that I am looking forward to the most, the game that I've always wanted to play on backwards compatibility. And he said, there's one game that people keep mentioning, and I'm one of those people. I've tweeted him I don't know how many times. I mean, like, hey, remember this game? Let's play it again. Is Crimson Skies. I'm excited to find out more about how they're going to make backwards compatibility work with the original Xbox games, how and if they will enable multiplayer once more on these original games.
It's going to be the same as 360 backwards compatibility, where you put in the disc, it says, go download that game, and then the disc is just what unlocks you to be able to play it.
And that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. That's what I want. I want it just to be, work and play better. And he mentioned this too, and I mentioned this in our article when we first had our episode 77, when we talked about our Xbox predictions, that Xbox original backwards compatible games would be enhanced. And it didn't mention that they had to have the Xbox One X, but just they would be enhanced. And that makes sense. So I'm hoping that it's textures, it's up-resing, it's something. I want to see what they can do to these original Xbox games. Because if you look at like Knights of the Old Republic on iPad, for instance, it's been optimized for iPad. It plays better. It looks better than it did on the original Xbox and on PC when it first came out. So I'm excited to see what happens with the original Xbox backwards compatibility games. I know the naysayers out there say that nobody plays backwards compatible games. 1% of gamers or Xbox gamers do it. Phil dropped it.
Garbage. That survey was garbage.
Phil dropped that bit earlier in the press conference when he said 1 out of every 2 Xbox gamers, or 50% of Xbox One gamers, have played a backwards compatible game. And you let that sink in for a second. I knew it was a direct response to probably that stuff that was going around earlier, because I play backwards compatible games, and I know a lot of people that do as well. And I'm definitely on board for OG Xbox backwards compatible games. So let's throw it to you, Sean. Backwards compatible games, original Xbox. What do you got?
I'm pumped. This is another massive mic drop type of moment. And I think that probably the biggest way this will impact things is through Game Pass and games with gold. This is more than just for people who still have those games sitting on their shelves, or people who like to go through pawn shops and rifling through retro game shops. This expands the value of the services that they have, and I couldn't be happier. This is more games for Xbox to sell and more ways for people to be engaged. I really have a hard time hearing any of the naysayers talk about backwards compatibility and it being a waste, and how Sony was right for not doing it, and how Xbox is wrong for doing it, and how it's wasteful. I think it just adds to the ecosystem, and this is massive. This is not nearly as big as 360. I think 360 is where Xbox found its footing, but this is just kind of like completing the circle and just saying to fans that, anybody who's been around for the entire trip with Xbox, this is a bit of a reward for you as well.
Yes.
Am I putting you guys to sleep, or like?
No, we've been talking for like 2 hours, and we had this conference that went like over. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, and it's been a long day. It's hot here, so let's throw it to someone else who's hot. Josh.
It's awfully toasty here. No, you're not putting us to sleep, John. I'm right with you. I think it's awesome that they're offering it, and I definitely have a short list of OG games I want to play again that I haven't had the opportunity to pick back up, simply because I don't have that 50-pound monster that used to be my Xbox lying around. So and I don't have my RGB cables to plug into my HDTV. So I'm excited. I know I had KOTOR, and I know I had Batman Rise of Sin Tzu, which I loved. So I definitely have games. I mean, they're not like my Crimson Sky level as for Nathan, but it's so cool that they offer it. And we're going to have to hear all these Sony people who just attacked us for not wanting our 360 games be like, you want original Xbox games too? That's who cares? If you don't want it, just shut up and go away. It's cool. We get to have access to these games, and if it's not for everyone, then it's not for everyone. But there's a group of people who are getting awesome fan service from Microsoft right now, and it's incredible that they would even think about doing that. So I applaud them. I think it's awesome that they're doing it, and I can't wait to see how it rolls out. I'm more curious about if and what they're going to charge for the games. But if I can pick up Batman for $5, I'm gonna buy it. If I can pick up Knights of the Old Republic 2 for $10, I'm gonna buy it. I'm in.
I'd want even Tiger Woods from back in the day. Like that's what I'm talking. Like, oh man, just
Yeah, when
let's
it was
go
good.
back. Yes, exactly.
NFL 2K7, 2K, whatever it was, 2K5.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go back to the old sports games before they got
happening.
stupid.
It's not happening.
NFL Fever.
NCAA.
Remember NFL Fever?
None of that's
I
happening.
think there's licensing stuff that gets in the way of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But my game would work.
My games would too. I mean, Crimson Skies, obviously. Other ones I want to see: Burnout 3 Takedown.
Yes.
Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast.
Mhm.
And I want to see Republic Commando. I want to see Starfighter. I want to see Xbox. The original Xbox there was a ton of Star Wars games. So for Star Wars fans, that was a great console to have. I want all those games brought back over, and it's a great announcement for me personally. It builds a legacy, right? The Xbox is now the console of legacy. And going forward, I see them carrying this torch on. So if you upgrade to the next system after the Xbox One X, you're going to be able to play games all the way back to Xbox that you enjoy. So, Donnie, give me your thoughts on OG backwards compatibility.
Okay. Sorry, Nathan.
We already know that you don't like old games.
No, that's not true. I have a PlayStation 2 actually hooked up to a television. That's not true at all. Don't say that. I have an N64 hooked up to a TV. I own all my SNES stuff on 3DS. Don't say that. That's not true. I had an original Xbox. I love old games. I like to play old games. That's just absolutely not true. I have no problem with what Xbox is doing. This is a great initiative. It's a pro gamer initiative. It is always great game preservation. Nobody has these Xbox discs anymore. So
that is not true. I have them in my drawer.
Most people don't have these discs anymore. So making them available digitally is outstanding. That's a great initiative. I'm only down on it because there's not much here that I'm going to play. I mean, there's just not. I was thinking about it because when you went crazy ballistic, I was like, I get that you're excited for one game, and if I could correlate that to myself, if PlayStation dropped Hot Shots Golf 3 on the PlayStation 2 tomorrow, I'd be super excited too because I love that game. I get it. I don't have that game for Xbox, even though I had it. I get your love for Star Wars, and that's cool. I don't know how much of that's going to come over. That's a licensed property. Right? So it's not like they're just going to turn on the Xbox Switch and you can play NCAA football on your Xbox. Like, that'd be huge, but that's not how it's going to happen, right? It's going to be like PlayStation 2 Classics, where they're going to give you like 20 of them. And they're like, see, we've got these. And when we were in the chat, I was trying to think about it. It's like, there's got to be some games that I'd love in there. Which ones would I play? I was like, immediately go Halo. I'm going to go play Halo. Well, why would you? You have the Master Chief Collection. If you want to go play Halo 1 or the other one, the OG one, you can just play it there and you play it better, or you can just hit the button and have a retro. Fable. I'm going to play Fable. You have Fable Anniversary. It's an HD version of it. It's better. The only one that I could really come up with is Jet Set Radio. Right? So if they have Jet Set Radio, I'll give you $9 and I'll play Jet Set Radio. That's an awesome game. I'll do that. So it's not to poo-poo on that at all. It's just that for me, I can't really think of a large amount of games that I'm going to buy backwards compatibility, unlike Xbox 360, because I like you, Nathan. I've got 20 Xbox 360 games on my Xbox One, man, and I play them often. I like backwards compatibility. It's awesome, and it's just something that should be rewarded. It's just with the OG Xbox, I don't have that love of that many games that this gets me all excited. Like, even for KOTOR, I can play KOTOR on my PC, and I can play better versions of KOTOR. So that's my thing. And if I could play any Xbox game, I'd agree with you. That'd be amazing. Just to be able to play college football again on a console would be great. But they're not going to do that. You can't play NFL 2K5. Like, you can't go back to like the old NBA games, and you can't, all those sports games. You're not going to be able to play any of those. I would count me surprised if all of the Star Wars games you want come over just do the licensing, because it's out of Phil Spencer's hands. He's got to go to somebody to ask for permission, and if the money's not there, chances are they'll say no. So, it's a great initiative that I want to applaud. I just don't know how much I'm going to get out of it at the end of the day is really what I'm trying to say. Like, I just don't know if it's something that really is going to, like, if we come back next year and I'm sitting here on the Empire podcast, am I going to tell you I played 10 original Xbox games? I'm hesitant to say that. I don't think the outlook is likely. So it's a great announcement. I'm glad for the folks that are excited. I will play Crimson Skies because I remember, like you, this is a pretty cool game. Like that one is a cool one. So right now I've got 2, Jet Set Radio and Crimson Skies, and we'll see if any more come along.
I'll say that the track record is good for Star Wars games coming via backwards compatibility. Both the Force Unleashed games came on 360, as well as the Lego Star Wars game from the original, or from the Xbox 360 era. So the track record is good. So I'm hopeful for the Star Wars stuff. Plus, we know Knights of the Old Republic was actually all those games, most of those games that were on Xbox were exclusive to Xbox as far as the Star Wars stuff goes. So the odds are in our favor, maybe? Okay. This has been a long time. It's been a long night. But just to recap the conference, they had 42 games, 22 exclusives. The Xbox One X was the announced Project Scorpio name, and it is coming November 7th at the price tag of $499. It is a fantastic piece of hardware, native 4K gaming, 60 frames per second on a game like Forza Motorsport 7. That's going to be fantastic. But that hefty price tag of $500 does leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But I do understand that, hey, this is liquid cooled. This has a lot of technology in it. And I want to see it actually in person. It is a small unit, and I'm glad that it's coming. We had a lot of games announced. We spent this whole time pretty much talking about those games. There was a ton of games announced, and nobody can say that Xbox doesn't bring the games because there were 42. I mean, that's a ton, and nobody can say they don't have exclusives. There was some exclusivity for 22 games. We have Crackdown coming, Sea of Thieves coming this year, Cuphead coming this year. We have announced, time frames for a lot of games as well into this year and next. Nothing passed except I think there's one game that didn't have an announcement window on it. Ori, yes. So I think that the conference as a whole, if I was to grade it, I think this was better than the EA conference, which I would rank a 90 because I thought that they brought a lot of stuff to the table. They had some good stuff to show.
EA a 90?
I'm telling you why. Is because they surprised me with the A Way Out game. They had a lot of good stuff to show with Need for Speed. It looks fantastic. They had a lot of great games on stage. Battlefield 1 announcements were really great as far as the content that's coming with the night missions and the dynamics for that, and they're continuing to support that game. And half of their conference was Star Wars. So for me, it's a 90 because I had what I wanted. I was happy at the end of it. I was excited with EA. That's why I gave it a 90. With this, it's even higher. So I give this an A proper, not an A plus, because if they would have hit $399 or even like a $449 price, I would have given them an A plus. But I give this an A and rate it 95. So let's throw it to you, Sean.
Yeah, I'm an A and I am at a 90. I think A plus would be 95, wouldn't it?
A plus would be 98 and above, I think, or 99 and above.
I'm just making stuff up.
We're having a conversation about rubrics.
Gosh, I'm just messing with you, man. No, I don't know what else they could have done really any better. I think they're hamstrung a little bit by the marketing deals, and that's it. Yeah, A, 90. Really, really, really good. Excellent conference.
And let's look at Josh.
Let's look at me. I'm the same. A. I would say 90, 85, 90. It's a B minus, B plus when I go through that thing. I think EA was a 70 for me though, just to put that out there.
I'm high on that.
Maybe even lower, maybe a 65. That guy who hosted that show had no presence whatsoever. He was terrible. Anyways, good conference. I think that I was waiting for a big mic drop, but we didn't get one. But I'm still happy with the conference as a whole.
Donnie.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 100, anything above 60 is like above average and good. I say this conference is a great 8. It's the easy way out. There were certain things that I liked about it, certain things I loved about it, and certain things I didn't care for or I thought could be better. So I love the fact that the Xbox One Scorpio was announced. I love all the news about the Xbox One X and how many teraflops. It's great, but $499 I thought was a little high. I understand why, but I think it's a little high. The announced date, the time frame that it's coming out, I definitely think is too late. I would have wanted more 2017 games, less 2018 games. I've always been that way on every podcast that I've ever joined. I got so much hell from PlayStation gamers saying the exact same thing. So I would be a hypocrite if I came over here and acted any different. I want E3 to tell me why to be excited in the next 6 to 12 months. And we got some of that here, but we got a whole lot of 2018, and we don't know when that is. That could be February 2018. It could be December 2018. That's a long time from now. So with everything together, I think it's just great. I give it an 80. It's good B. It's a really good conference. They had a lot to show. I give them a lot of credit for just hitting games, which is Phil Spencer's thing, right? Like, he's definitely built a reputation of this guy that just comes out and game announcement, just bludgeons you over the head with video games. Just like, by the time you're done, even us here, like, we can't remember half of them. You're like reading off names of sizzle reels, and like, I have no idea. I don't even remember anymore because there's just so many of them. And as a gamer, that's exciting. Like, I love Phil Spencer. I get excited when he gets on stage because he seems like he gets it. But then again, at the end of the day, and there were definitely some faults from my end.
Sounds good, sir. Well, there you have it. Overall, a positive experience, positive conference. I think Donnie was the lowest with an 8. So between 80 and 95, that range, positive experience. So one final question, gentlemen. The Xbox One X, will you purchase it? And if so, will you purchase it right away? So let's go with you, Josh, first.
Not this year. I got a board gaming conference on November 17th. If I was to buy an X, that's all my money. So if I get one, it'll be spring of next year.
Sounds good. Donnie.
Nope, just bought a new Xbox. Do you find it interesting that they announced the games that would be getting 4K upgrades for Xbox One X, and it wasn't like all games, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I've told you, Nathan, for a long time. Is I wanted them to come out and say every game that you have,
now,
regardless of what the developer does, will run better.
Wait, did you see all the other games that cycled through on the left and the right when they announced that? Their 5 games that they announced were their published games.
Sure.
But like The Witcher and other ones went by on the other sides.
I think there's 30 of
they're
those.
coming.
I saw an article right before we started. There's like 30 of those. So obviously there's a lot to be left there. So apparently the developers have to do something to make this happen. The point I'd like to make ultimately is it doesn't look like this every game type of thing, right? It looks like you're going to have some sort of comparison chart. Like, which game runs better on Scorpio? We don't know. And, you go through and pick through. Like, Assassin's Creed may run better on Scorpio, and so will FIFA and Madden, but Destiny may not. Like, that's something that we're going to have to try and figure out as we go down the road. So for that reason alone, it's kind of a wait and see for me. But when they announced the price, man, we'll get into it for other reasons, but a lot of my money that I had set aside for Scorpio got spent earlier this week. And I'm really happy that I upgraded to the S, and I'm really happy to have the S, and I can do the stream in 4K and outputs in 4K, and that's great. So I don't feel the need until there's a lot more. But to answer your question, hopefully, dude, I buy everything. You know that. Eventually, I'll find somebody on Craigslist selling one of these things for $200, and I'll flip them a screwdriver and a can of green beans and $50 or something. I'll find one. I'll find one eventually. So,
all right, Sean.
I think that it all depends on the trade-in bonuses. Like, for me, it really depends on if I'm trading in my 1S or one of my PlayStation 4s in for this one. I kind of was hoping for some sort of like exclusive deal or some sort of like special deal with GameStop to announce like you get some, and maybe that's still to come. Maybe now is not the right time for that. So it depends. I already have an Xbox and I don't have a 4K, but I was very impressed with what I saw, and I'm excited to jump into the next step, the next stage of Xbox. So I can't get, like, I don't want to say that I will, and then when I don't, I get crucified for it. But like, I'm I'm inclined to say yes, I will likely be buying this right away.
And for me, I want to say I'm getting it day one. I want to. I can't say that at this point. If it would have come out with $3.99, hook, line, and sinker would have been in day one purchase. At $4.99, I just gotta take a step back and just make sure of
Evaluate my life.
What's that?
Evaluate your life.
That's right. Evaluate my life. And I just want to make sure like it's right for me. That's not to say that I won't get it on day one, but it's releasing November 7th, right around that Black Friday time. And I think that maybe there will be deals to be had around that time as well before the end of the year. So if I can get a free game with the console or something, that'll probably push me over to get it at that $4.99 price. But just the console by itself, I'm leaning towards not at this point, but I want to get it very soon. I want to get it within that first half of 2018 if possible. So that's where I stand. Dear listeners, watchers, readers, where do you stand? Are you going to grab the Xbox One S? Shoot us a tweet over at PSVG. Leave a comment below. Shoot us an email. PlaySomeVideoGames@gmail.com. Actually, isn't there another email address, Donnie? Podcast. Okay.
You got it. Podcast at PlaySomeVideoGames.com.
Echo. All right. Any final thoughts on the conference? Let's throw it to our guest. And thank you again for joining us, Sean.
Thank you for having me. I'm just glad to talk to people who are excited about this thing. And I don't know. There are no final thoughts. I think it was awesome. A+.
Great. Thank you again for joining us. And where can people listen to your show?
Oh, on iTunes and Google Play every Monday and pretty much almost every day this week. We're going to be doing, right after this, I'm going to go record some predictions scoring. And so we're going to be giving a big shout out to Jace Baldridge at Jace Plays Games because he nailed the Crackdown prediction. There's one other prediction that I'm shocked. Somebody got the name right. And so if you guys want to hear about that, you can check out We the Gamercast on iTunes and Google Play. And then usually we don't do like a lot of the new stuff. It's more like one-on-one conversation, get to know each other type of stuff. So thank you for having me on and let me tell people about that.
Yeah. Thanks, sir. All right. Josh, final thoughts.
I'm happy. I have an angry wife right now, but I'm happy.
Understood.
He's been home for 4 hours and hasn't eaten yet. So, yeah, no, I'm happy. It was a good conference, and to be honest with you, I'm in the mindset where I just want to be excited about every conference. So I'm looking forward to Bethesda tonight and Sony tomorrow, and Nintendo, and let's just get some good games and stop worrying so much about all the rest of it. I mean, we need something to talk about, but let's not worry so much about it all.
Yeah. Donnie.
I'm super excited, man. I'm going to play Cuphead and Crackdown and hopefully more than that this fall. And then if not that, then I've got Ori and Anthem, and it's just what a great conference. Like I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm happy that I bought this new Xbox One. I'm happy that I got to stream this mixer in 4K. It looked gorgeous. Like all of this was good stuff. It was a great day today. And I'm sorry to come and not be the super fanboy, but I try to remain consistent as much as possible. And dude, I'm excited for Battlefield 1. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say. I told you guys that before we hit broadcast, but I didn't play it. I'm excited to play it. I'm excited for the content that's coming for it. And I got it for free today with my Xbox. So it's been downloading over there. And like, as soon as we get off, dude, I'm going to go shoot some folks. Like, it looks great.
Sounds good. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and announce something here that I haven't really shared with anybody yet. And the reason why I'm being speculative about when I'll be purchasing the Xbox One X and how many games I'll be able to play and or purchase this year, I'm expecting a boy to be joining me.
Nathan Jr.
I will be joining. I will be joining you guys as a gaming father, hopefully.
Good for you.
So will be our first child.
You should have said that before you weren't sure if you're going to buy the X. That would have made way more sense.
Yeah, so that's why I'm looking at it with a little bit different perspective.
Yeah, Jace.
had I not been expecting a little one, it would be for sure a snap by. However, I must act more responsible and
they'll
gauge
figure it
things.
out.
Yeah, no,
Like I
overrated.
said,
You don't
I'll
need, you don't
figure it
need, you
out.
don't need the super cradle and the awesome stroller. Like, don't do that. Just
I
get your
used-
Xbox. I've got a bunch of stuff we can give you, Nathan. Fucking trash bags in the attic and whatnot.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to just expand on the reasoning a little bit, maybe just make a little announcement. This is the Xbox Empire E3 reaction show. This is where my people come. So I want to share that with the Empire. So
Did you just talk about snapping off and then where people come? Am I the only one who picked up on that? And now you're having a baby?
That's how babies are.
Goodness gracious.
with Mixer. He had them on Mixer.
Yeah, it was Mixer, yeah.
what happened?
Get us out of here,
This is
Nathan.
for
we'll get us out of
tired
here.
people.
However, my final thoughts of the conference as a whole. Great job. Loved seeing Phil Spencer on stage as much as he was. He looked happy to be out there. He looked confident. He should be. Great conference as a whole. I came away happy. Wish that the Xbox One X would have been a little cheaper. However, I think that it is justified when you probably look at the technology within it. It's liquid cooled. It's the first console that's liquid cooled. So
It's true.
I am excited for more to come and look forward to the rest of E3 week as these announcements keep on rolling. Keep on paying attention to PlaySomeVideoGames.com for daily coverage on breaking news stories. And yeah, I think that's about it. So, Donnie, take us home.
Well, I remind you to follow us over at Play Some Video Games on Twitter at PSVG, where we tweet every time we go live on the website and all of our updates. Again, Q dominated this week, so great job over there. And then remember, boys and girls, Kevin always says, never stop gaming. Jason!
Sean!
On! Jason! Chase! On!
Thanks, guys.